We are high above one of the great sports cities in America in downtown Pittsburgh as we welcome you in to the Nissan pregame drive. Pittsburgh and West Virginia have waited 3,933 days to renew their backyard brawl. The 75 miles of disdain remained, and tonight on ESPN, we renew one of college football's best rivalries in the 105th edition of Pitt and West Virginia. And with that, welcome into the Thursday night broadcast booth. Lewis Riddick and Matt Berry alongside. First of all, welcome to Thursday night. What a great way to start this off for Lewis Riddick, a game you know well. You played in this backyard brawl 4 times, and Lewis, you said this one just hits different.
It just does. Look, if you underneath my coat, if you could see my skin right now, it's just all goosebumps. It's all goosebumps. This crowd right now is electric. And I can just tell you this. I think back to 1989 when I was a junior and we played them down there in Morgantown. The most emotional game I've ever been involved with in my entire football career. Pop Warner, high school, college, professional. The most emotional game. Was in tears afterwards because I was spent physically and emotionally. That's exactly what these kids are going to go through tonight. And it's opening weekend. And they have never even really experienced this rivalry. It's just absolutely going to be electric.
I'm going to stack on top of that, and we have 2 new quarterbacks for both Pitt and West Virginia. Let's start on the Pitt side of the ball. We know Kenny Pickett gone to the NFL. In comes Keaton Slovis, the transfer from USC.
Look, it's always about fit when you're talking about quarterbacks, and that's exactly what Keaton Slovis wanted. He wanted the perfect fit when he transferred from USC, and he's got it here. He doesn't have to be the guy. He doesn't have to throw for 40, 50 touchdowns. He doesn't have to be Kenny Pickett II. He needs to just do his part. This offense is built in order to accentuate his skills. Big offensive line, strong running game, big wide receivers. Just do his part, and it will be the perfect marriage.
He said when he entered the transfer portal, he said, part 1, I want culture. Part 2, I want fit. He said he's found that here at Pitt. We'll see Keaton Slovis tonight. On the other side, we know JT Daniels, also USC ties, but comes in from Georgia to match up with Graham Harrell, the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, a little bit different situation for JT Daniels. I think JT has something to prove personally and to his football team. Personally, meaning this, he's on his 3rd school. Many people have counted him out after being one of the most decorated prep quarterbacks ever. But he was 7-0 at Georgia at his 2nd stop. Now, tonight, Graham Harrell, the new offensive coordinator, what is he known for? Well, typically putting the ball up in the air, and he has got some big, strong, physical wide receivers in order to throw it to. The question is whether or not can West Virginia's offensive line protect him. If they can, expect that ball to be up in the air, expect some explosive plays to happen for West Virginia.
We expect this one to be fun. We've only waited 11 years for it. Kickoff from Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh is next. And now a look inside. Welcome back to Acrisure Stadium. We go down to Harry Lyles in a rivalry game, Harry, that runs deep.
Matt, and you talk about a rivalry that runs deep. It's so intense, it makes people do things that they wouldn't normally do. I spoke with Jackie Sherrill, the former Pitt head coach, last week. He told me that when he was head coach, he would always have somebody travel with the team to say the Lord's Prayer and give the team a blessing. In 1977, he did that as usual in the game before against West Virginia. And after they said the prayer and gave the blessing, they continued and said, now, laddies, it's time to go kick the you-know-what out of West Virginia. And they ended up doing that. That's how intense this rivalry is. It makes people do things they wouldn't normally do. We should have an intense one here tonight, guys.
Cannot wait. We've waited 11 years. Sit back and enjoy the sights and sounds and the return of the backyard brawl on ESPN. So this is when we'll get our first look at the new West Virginia offense, Graham Harrell, and their starting quarterback, JT Daniels.
Yeah, look, Graham Harrell said, hey, look, we're going to really tailor this offense to what we do best. We know we have big, physical wide receivers. We know we got a quarterback who can throw the football as well as anyone. He constantly talked about his ability to throw the deep ball, but let's just see how this offensive line that returns 5 starters goes up against one of the best pass rushing defensive lines in all of college football in 2021.
Prolific Pitt defense a year ago. Much of that unit is back. So 1st and 10, West Virginia ball at the 25. The give to Mathis, Tony Mathis, the running back, in a gain of 3, tackled by a name we'll call a lot tonight, Have Baldonado.
Yeah, look, Baldonado is one of the best pass rushers on this football team, and he will have to not just rush the passer tonight, but he'll have to do that. Make sure he's a factor in the run game, but I like how West Virginia came out and ran the football. Graham Harrell said, hey, look, we're not going to shy away from their strength, the Pitt defensive front. We're going to go right at it and see what they've got.
This time, Daniels pulls it, goes to the air for the first time, and that's a nice pitch and catch to Sam James, and a first down, Mountaineers.
Sam James, one of the fastest players on the West Virginia roster, state champion in the 400 meters as a junior in high school. He's going to be a guy that you have to make sure he doesn't get behind the defense and keep him contained.
And Lewis, as we noted throughout the week, the shortest of the West Virginia wide receivers at 6 feet.
It's a mini basketball team out here, Matt. I'm telling you, Bryce Ford-Wheaton, 6'3", Caden Prather, 6'4". The Pitt DBs are going to have to be on it all night.
Daniels muffs the snap, composes himself, forced down in the pocket, has a receiver along the sideline, and that's a great play by JT Daniels, finds Bryce Ford-Wheaton, gain of 22.
And look, it throws the defense out of rhythm when the quarterback drops the center quarterback exchange. And really the timing of the play gets out of whack. Maybe your eyes go into the backfield, but it's a nice job by JT Daniels, just sneaking out to his left and finding Bryce Ford-Wheaton down the sideline.
So consecutive completions for Daniels. Ball in Pitt territory, spotted at the 40. Daniels again to throw. Swings it out to Mathis. Pitt's defense right there. That was Eric Hallett, one of the talented safeties, and a loss of 1 on the play.
Look, Eric Hallett and Brandon Hill, his counterpart in the secondary, are going to be the guys who are going to have to make plays in the open field. You see here, JT Daniels gets the ball out to Tony Mathis, and making plays in space is what college football is all about. So tackling is going to be at a premium tonight. You can't miss too many of them against either one of these offenses.
Everyone makes a story about the Pitt offensive line. Graham Harrell said the offensive line is the strength of their team as well. Mathis out of the backfield. Daniels to throw over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Sam James. And that's Shane Simon, the Notre Dame transfer, on the play.
Very nice job by him of matching the pattern of Sam James underneath that shallow crosser. Look, Shane Simon is someone who Pat Narduzzi said, look, we got to see how he plays for us in our scheme in a big moment. Nice start.
So 3rd and 11 now against a defense, 2nd in the nation in sacks a year ago. Big opportunity here for Daniels. Trips and movements. That's Wyatt Milam.
False start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, look, Wyatt Milam, they switch him from right tackle to left tackle from his freshman to his sophomore season. Graham Harrell said he's gotten a lot stronger. He's one of their best offensive linemen. But this crowd right now, look, it is tuned up in here. And on 3rd down, it's going to be tough. You're going to have to sit in there against one of the best pass rushing defensive lines again in all of college football. Good luck.
Now 3rd and 16. High snap again. Ball's on the turf. Mathis falls on it. And it's going to be 4th down, West Virginia. Pitt able to stop the momentum of the Mountaineers.
But there's no question about the fact that now that this is the first time that they've played in a game and emotions are running high, there's going to be some of these kind of mistakes. It's a matter of whether or not you can eliminate them or limit them to a certain degree until you can settle in, get a nice feel for how the quarterback is going to sound during the game in this noise, and get into your normal flow.
Oliver Straw to punt. Conate Mumfield, the transfer from Akron, deep to receive for Pittsburgh. He's going to fair catch it there at the 11-yard line. We've had crowd, we've had emotion, and we also have the return of the backyard brawl. West Virginia punts. We'll see Keaton Slovis after the break. First quarter, the return of the backyard brawl. Narduzzi kind enough pregame to allow us to mic him up.
Corey, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. ESPN's got us hooked up, so you're on candid camera.
Okay, all right.
You're on camera right now. You ready for this crap or what?
That's it.
Huh?
Yeah.
How was your trip up?
Build up for one game.
For one game, the brawl you and me haven't been in before. What do we got to do with this damn thing?
It's my first time.
Don't these guys look good? Every go! Let's go! Yeah, baby, let's go!
Man, is he a Pittsburgh coach personified. We love the access in college football, so all the head coaches watching out there, we've got a microphone for you too every Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's going to become something that maybe coaches want to do a little bit more, man. People love to hear it from the head coach, love to feel the emotion, and it's running high tonight.
Ball at the 45, second possession for Daniels and the Mountaineers. Clean pocket. Daniels going to take his first shot of the night. Has a receiver, overthrows Bryce Ford-Wheaton and A.J. Woods on the coverage.
But there's the deep shot, right? They're going to try and get the ball to Bryce Ford, who is 6'3", and then A.J. Woods, really the tallest Pitt corner. You see the little double move. You see the shoulder. You see him grab the jersey there. They kind of miss that. But that's the kind of thing that they're going to have to do. West Virginia wide receivers are going to have to win one-on-one, and Pitt's DBs are going to have to be aggressive and really challenge at the catch point.
The give to Mathis, nothing doing as the Pitt defense corrals him, and a gain of 2. You know, Graham Harrell, really both coaches, Lewis, told us in the meetings that at least early on, because it's the first game, it's a feeling out process.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, look, they don't really know what these teams are going to do schematically, offensively or defensively. I mean, there's a lot of new faces, a lot of new strategy that's being employed here tonight. So the first quarter really is a fact-finding mission. You're just hoping that you don't get burned in the process of trying to find out those facts.
That's James out of the backfield looking for a block, cuts back. And Pitt's secondary there to corral James. A.J. Woods on the tackle after a gain of 5. And decision time now for Neil Brown in West Virginia.
Yeah, you see they're constantly trying to get James the football in different ways in space. And we already said this is a space game in college football. They really make you defend every blade of grass. Nice job there by A.J. Woods. And the rest of the Pitt defense rallying to the football, stopping him short of the sticks.
So Neil Brown says they're really in no man's land. He's going to go for it. Ball at the 39, 4th and 4. And whistles before the snap. It's going to be motion on West Virginia.
False start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I'll tell you, last year in their season, mistakes. Difference between perhaps 9-3, 9-4, 8-4, 8-5, and a 6-7 record.
Yeah, look, this is to be expected here. Look, that's the second penalty on Wyatt Milam, the sophomore who moved from right tackle to left tackle. But this is a loud stadium right now. He's going up against a very good pass rushing front. There's going to be some nerves. There's going to be some jitters. They just need to settle down on that side of the football. They really squandered good starting field position, but it's a nice job by Pitt of limiting the damage and getting their second crack at it offensively.
So second punt, Mumfield back. That might be special teams perfection. Oliver Strong. Lewis, you know what that looked like? That looked like my pitching wedge. Just checked perfectly.
Look, this is a nice job right here. That ball looked like it almost touched the goal line, but look, that's a nice...
First touching at the 3-yard line, 1st down, Pitt.
So Caden Prather said first touch came at the 3.
Look, West Virginia right now making Pitt operate on their side of the 50, making it difficult for their offense to try to get anything going. This is a nice job by West Virginia, really trying to take the crowd out of it a little bit, work through some of the jitters. And now for Pittsburgh, it's going to be about trying to go ahead and see if they can get this ball out of their own territory and produce some positive yardage.
Midway through the first quarter here, Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry alongside Harry Lyles down to the sidelines. What did we say early on with this game? It's been 11 years. We know these schools don't like each other. We know it's the first game. It's managing the emotion early on to get into a game flow.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be something that right now Keaton Slovis and this Pitt offensive line are going to have to make sure they get things blocked up front, get some positive yardage, get the ball out of his hands quickly. And for West Virginia, it's got to be business as usual in terms of how they started off this game defensively, playing aggressive up front and getting off the field.
Field position right now. Last Pitt drive, they started with the ball at 11.
The previous play is under further review. Rolling on the
So our replay official tonight, Ronnie Ford, and Lewis, they're going to take another look at this of whether or not the ball crossed over the goal line plain. So we're going to step aside, go to break. We'll give you the official ruling after this. But for now, Pitt ball for 3. They'll review it. Coming back next.
Today, unbeatable internet, made to do anything, so you can do anything.
They are reviewing where the West Virginia special teams player first touched the ball. Let's bring in our rules official, Matt Austin. Matt, what do you see?
Yeah, Matt, it looked like number 43 did try to catch the ball at about the 3.5, so he definitely muffed it there. That is an illegal touching spot, but if that ball did cross the goal line afterwards, that would still be a touchback. So after review, they let it stand. I'm not surprised they didn't have a great view.
So ball spotted at the 3, 2 tight ends in for Pitt. And movement on the Panthers offensive line, Carter Warren.
False start. Offense, number 77, half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Lewis, this settle down. I mean, it's a settle down time for both these teams.
Yeah, look, you lose a whole yard. I mean, I understand that's still something that you don't want to do, but look, there's a feeling out process here, and there's a settling down process for both of these teams. Look, Carter Warren is a 3-year starter, and he even has nerves in a big game like this because it's all new to all these kids.
So they're going to give it to the fullback, Daniel Carter. And yes, for those watching, I said fullback in college football. I-back and everything. This is fantastic.
Look, Daniel Carter is 5'10", 240 pounds, and someone who offensive coordinator Frank Signetti really likes. Said they're going to try and get the ball to him, and not just on those fullback dive type of plays. He can pass protect, he can catch it out of the backfield. But this is a pro-style offense now. This isn't what you typically see in college football. This is going to be an offense that features a lot of personnel groupings that you see on Sundays in the NFL, because that's really what Frank Signetti is known for. Once again, you see him right here in 21 personnel. 2 backs, tight end, 2 wide receivers.
This time it's Abanikanda trying to get off the right side. And again, West Virginia's defensive line has stood up early, and that's Stills with the push and the tackle.
But Dante Stills is one of the best players on this defense, and you can see him up front. You see Stills there at the left defensive tackle, and then you see 95 Jordan Jefferson as well, who goes 6'3", 310, and was one of the best athletes on this team, regardless of position. Look, Pitt returns 5 starters on the offensive line and is known for its physicality, but right now, we talked earlier today about the fact that West Virginia had to match Pitt's physicality, especially on the offensive line. They're doing it so far.
3rd and 9. Ball at the 4. Slovis, snap high. Plenty of time over the middle, and the first completion for Keaton Slovis. That's to Jared Wayne, and a first down for Pitt, gain of 20.
Look, I watched them in practice work on these deep in-breaking routes against a quarters coverage type of scheme. You see it's a wrap concept. You see the short little spot route there, and then here comes Jared Wayne in behind it about 12 to 15 yards, and Keaton Slovis puts it right on him. Perfect route combination between Bub Means and Jared Wayne.
The pass earlier to Abanikanda behind the backfield. They counted it as a run, so Slovis, that his first completion. 1st and 10, ball at the 24. Slovis again, plenty of time, sets his feet, goes to the sideline, and that's Mumpfield, and another first down after 16 yards.
Now, what is Frank Signetti doing, right? He comes out in the first series, and early on in the second series, he runs the football, shows big personnel. West Virginia's thinking, hey, they're going to get another run action type of play. He pulls it and throws the deep out route to Kanate Mumpfield, and that's exactly what he wants to do. Get the second-level defenders to come up into the line of scrimmage and really honor the run, and then it's one-on-one on the outside and even one-on-one over the middle of the field, and that's where you see Keaton Slovis going to work.
They had 7 offensive linemen in that last play. Back in the I formation, another play fake for Slovis, forced out of the pocket. You know, Slovis, a little high step across midfield. You know, I don't know out of Desert Mountain High School that he was listed as a dual threat quarterback, but that 14 yards moves the chains, and Lee Koba missed the tackle on the first down play.
Look, they told me, do not sleep on Keaton Slovis's athleticism. And if you're going to give him the edge, just right there like Linnell Carr did, and you're going to lose contain on the pocket, he will take it and pick up first downs with his feet. He's no Kenny Pickett as far as running the football, but I can tell you this. He will pick up first downs if you're going to let him, just like he did.
3 straight first downs for the Panthers. Ball in West Virginia territory for the first time tonight. And that's a Bannican off the right side. And again, it's that West Virginia defensive line. And that was linebacker Lance Dixon in a great tackle.
Look, they have really improved their athleticism on this side of the football. And Lance Dixon is one of the very best athletes on this team as well. And you see him watching here, playing the stack backer position, just staying behind the football, staying square to the line of scrimmage. And he makes the perfect tackle. Perfect read, perfect tackle. They have a lot of good athletes on this side of the football, and they're showing up here early in this football game.
Empty backfield now for Slovis. Comes in with 26 career starts, has experience at USC. Again over the middle, and it's Bob Means. Bubba Means takes it to the 30-yard line and a gain of 15. He's another transfer as Bub Means comes in from Louisiana Tech, started his career in Tennessee.
Yeah, once again, you just see him run a little smash concept on the inside where Keaton Slovis just puts it on him, a little in-breaker about 5 yards, and then after that, against his own coverage scheme, he just has to find his way through traffic and make positive yardage after the catch. Bub Means is 6'2", 215. When you see him up close, look, this guy is built like a mini-sized Brandon Marshall, thick lower body, strong after the catch. He averaged over 19 yards per reception last year at La Tech. You know he can make big plays.
Again, this drive started at Pittsburgh's 3. Slovis momentum, has to climb the pocket, and he's brought down by Mallinger. That's going to be a loss of 3. West Virginia, their second sack on the night.
That's a nice job by Davis Mallinger. You're going to see him come on the rush on the outside against Abanikanda. Then he realizes, look, I'm too deep in the pocket. Let me turn, retrace my steps. Slovis never sees him. Look, that spear position that Mallinger plays along with Jazir Cox, the transfer from North Dakota State, it's a playmaking position. They're going to be involved in the run front. They're going to blitz. They're going to cover. That position should rack up stats in a game like this.
Each time Pitt makes a big play, West Virginia's defense answers. So 2nd and 13. Abanikanda on the ground. Cuts it back to the middle of the field. A gain of 5. Lewis, look, you got to credit West Virginia's defense. Pitt, some momentum on this drive, and each time they're able to make a ball play, that defense, much improved, has showed up early.
Yeah, it sure has. Look, the athleticism.
Timeout for an injury to a defensive player.
All right, so we got an injured West Virginia player. We'll take a look at him. 1:36 left in the first quarter. It looks to be Charles Woods, who's down on the field. The trainers will tend to him. This is a great start to college football this weekend, Saturday night. The top matchups of the day, week 1. I mean, I'd like to think our game gets it all started to set up Oregon and Georgia. Bo Nix leaves Auburn. He thought he was done with the SEC until he kicks against the defending champs and Stetson Bennett at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. And then the big one, 7:30.
Oh, yeah.
Notre Dame and Ohio State. Number 5, number 2, Marcus Freeman, C.J. Stroud. I say this every year, and I'm going to say it again. Is this the best opening weekend of college football ever?
It's as good as it gets, man, and it starts here tonight. Look, this crowd is electric. This atmosphere is electric. That game, Notre Dame, Ohio State, let me just tell you this. In my pre-draft preparation last year, I remember watching Ohio State offense, and C.J. Stroud probably had one of the best throws I saw any quarterback make all year long. He threw a seam route on the second level about 20 yards down the field and fitted in a window of about 3 defenders. I was just sitting there going, oh, my God. Just look at this guy. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Travion Henderson, they are loaded. Ryan Day is one of my favorite people in college football. This is going to be a heavyweight battle. And Marcus Freeman, what more can you say about him? Just an A-plus individual, and he's starting off with an A-plus opponent.
We've got an A-plus game here in front of us. 3rd and 8, ball at the 29, Slovis in the shotgun. Again, has to use his feet because of the pressure. Ball completed. Not going to be enough for a first down. That was Wayne. So now decision time for Pat Narduzzi, and it looks as if he's going to send out the field goal unit, and why wouldn't you?
Well, that's a nice job by West Virginia's defense of understanding the down and distance, making sure they match the patterns in their zone scheme quickly, eliminated run after the catch, so they couldn't run for the first down, forced Pat Narduzzi to send out his field goal team.
So 42-yard attempts for Ben Sauls. Pittsburgh looking to get on the board first. Snap, clean, kick, good. And it's Pittsburgh who scores the first point to the backyard brawl with 37 seconds left in the first quarter. And a good kick by Ben Sauls, 3-0 Panthers. And this season, All-State will celebrate every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. As always, thank you, All-State. 11 plays, 73 yards, 648. And Lewis, we're about ready to end the first quarter here. A lot of defense. Great job by Pitt. They started that drive at their own 3. But everybody trying to get an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, and I think for Pitt, you can see Frank Signetti starting to dial in on West Virginia's cover schemes. Like to run a lot of zone coverage, although they have better athletes to play man-to-man coverage. He has a lot of nice route combinations that really stress the nickel defenders that play right in the seam area. You saw Keaton Slovis hit Bub Means. You saw him hit Jared Wayne a few times. I mean, it's really a nice offense that's designed to attack this kind of defensive scheme for West Virginia. Now they got to see if they can hit some big plays of their own, because JT Daniels has been close.
We have talked about this series history in the backyard brawl, the 105th playing of this storied rivalry, the first time in 11 years. West Virginia's won 3 in a row. They're separated by 75 miles. The first matchup in 1895. There's a little bit of a discrepancy of the score in that game. Pitt leads the all-time series 61-40-3. West Virginia, however, has won 3 straight, and this is a series, Lewis, just reading up on it, some of the quotes coming out of losses and wins. It is absolutely magical what this thing stands for.
Hey, look, it's personal, it's petty, it's emotional, it's all that, and I love every bit of it.
That's Justin Johnson's first carry of the game. He comes in at running back. Bengali Kamara on the tackle.
Look, and Bengali Kamara is one of those guys who right now, they really need to see what they've got in him. He is a fantastic athlete, stands about 6'2", almost 230 pounds, really increases their athleticism at the second level, along with Servassier Dennis, who you see there on your screen as well. They got some guys that can run and hit now, and they're showing up here early.
Looks like West Virginia is going to be content to run out the clock here in the first quarter.
That is the end of the first quarter.
11 years in the making. Some college football realignment took us apart for a while, but we are back with the backyard brawl. We've had some defense, we've had some emotion, and we got a loud crowd tonight at Acrisure Stadium. After 1, Pitt leads 3-0 in the backyard brawl here on ESPN. Of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear or Driven? Let's go down to the sidelines now. Harry with an update on Charles Woods.
Matt, we don't have official word on what the injury is. He did have his shoe and sock on his left foot taken off. As he was carted away into the locker room, he was telling his team, hey guys, let's go, let's go, let's go. Still motivating them to stay in this backyard brawl, guys.
Yeah, it looks like his leg got caught there.
So now 3rd and 3 after the completion for Sam James, and a gain of 3. And again, movement up front from West Virginia.
Delay game. Defense. Number 95. Using quick and abrupt movements, which cause the offense to move. 5-yard penalty if the yardage results in a first down.
So that was not early movement on West Virginia. That was mimicking moves on Devin Danielson.
Yeah, you see, they had a late shift is what they were doing. They shifted the front right before the ball was supposed to be snapped. And sometimes guys get real animated when they're doing that. And look, they're trying to do it to see if an offensive lineman will jump. They're just trying to be slick about it. But hey, it's okay. All's fair in this kind of game. Anything that you can do to try and get an advantage on your opponent, they're going to try and do. Just line up and play again.
Penalty yardage makes it a first down, West Virginia. Ball at the 37. Johnson squeaking his way up the middle, and he's got a nice gain on first down, tackled by Kamara after a gain of 6. Was you surprised that Harrell's banging this thing right up the heart of that defense?
Not at all. He kind of alluded to this, Matt. He said, I'm going to test them. I'm not going to go away from it, and it's all part of the plan.
It's Johnson again trying to get to the right side of the defense, and a big hit. Knocks him out of bounds. That's Servassier Dennis. First time we've called his name tonight. And a gain of 2, bringing up third down.
And Servassier Dennis is a playmaking machine. All ACC second team last year. Led the team in tackles. 9.5 tackles for a loss. This kid was as impressive of a young man as you will talk to when we talk to him in the production meetings. He was ready to roll. And he's been all over the field already tonight.
One of the Pitt captains. I think every question we asked, he was smiling. Because he wanted to get out here and play in this backyard brawl, 3rd and 1 for Daniels and West Virginia, and it's a run right up the middle. There goes C.J. Donaldson. Donaldson and a gain of 43. What a play call by Harrell, and West Virginia in business inside the 10-yard line.
Let me tell you this, C.J. Donaldson is really a tight end by trade, but look, they alluded to the fact that you're going to see him in the backfield, you're going to see him run the football. He's 6'2", 240 pounds, and he was rolling.
Tempo for West Virginia. Bryce Ford Wheaton, answer Mountaineers.
Matt, there's the one-on-one matchups we talked about. And the one-on-one matchups that we said that the West Virginia wide receivers are going to have to win. Use their size. Go up and take the ball off the top of the rim. Here's Bryce Ford Wheaton matched up one-on-one against A.J. Woods. JT Daniels recognizes it immediately. Throws a little bit of a back shoulder. Defensive back can't locate the football. Is late play in the eyes and hands of the wide receiver. And it's 6 for West Virginia.
And what a quick strike for West Virginia. The penalty extended the drive. The big run by Donaldson. And Bryce Ford Wheaton and West Virginia, 6 plays, 75 yards. And they land the first touchdown punch here at the Backyard Brawl. Casey Legg on for the extra points. So 7-3 West Virginia to start the second quarter. We were figuring this thing out at first. We've got those fireworks we expected. Bryce Ford Wheaton touchdown. Mountaineers on top, 7-3. Virginia leads 7-3 in the second quarter as we continue Xfinity kickoff week. And this is a rivalry with family ties that run deep down the field in Harry.
Guys, you see that passion out of Bryce Ford Wheaton. He is the 3rd generation of his family to play in this rivalry. His grandfather, Ford's, played in the Backyard Brawl. He told me, I just never really actually thought I'd have my own crack at Pitt. He said there's really a hatred for them, and he told me, so just to finally experience that for himself and be able to play in this game is going to be a crazy thing, and he's making the most out of it, guys.
You know, Lewis, the family ties throughout this rivalry run so deep. Bryce Ford Wheaton was saying earlier, I can't wait for me to have my crack that my grandpa and my uncle got. And not only did he get a crack, he's got West Virginia.
Look, I watched the press conference of his where he said he watched the DVDs of his grandfather's performance when he played in this game and had set all-purpose records for the university in terms of how productive he was during his time. And he said, look, I never really even knew it. My grandfather didn't talk about it very much. But he went off in that 1965 game, I believe it was.
And how cool is this? They're West Virginia running back in the mid-60s. And his uncle also involved in this game. And when you grow up, Garrett Ford Jr., when you grow up with this rivalry in your blood, I mean, you have no choice but to step on this field and love every second of the opportunity.
Look, this is what college football is all about. I mean, college fans across the nation love the fact that these two teams have the dislike that they have for one another. And you're hoping that although we're in an age of conference realignment, that we're able to kind of really get some of these rivalries back and keep them on the schedule year after year.
Ball now at the 25, best starting field position for Pitt for the night. That's Rodney Hammond, his first opportunity in the game tonight. Hammond's a running back that they like. At a gain of 7, you see why. Big fella, 5'9", 200, low to the ground.
Good center of gravity, good vision. That's good competitiveness right there. Just trying to pick and slide behind the line of scrimmage, find a crease, get the ball north and south. Now you're in a nice second and short type of situation where Frank Cignetti has a little bit more that he can go to on his play calling sheet. They've been throwing the football very well off of play action in the first quarter. See if he tries to dial up a shot play here.
I mean, the departure from the Mark Whipple area with Kenny Pickett is stark. I mean, it is crystal clear what Cignetti came here to do tonight. That's run the ball. And this is old school football. Keaton didn't like when he see play clock was down to 1, and he's going to use Pittsburgh's first time out of the Knights.
Pittsburgh has called their first timeout of the half.
So play clock winding down. Keaton used the timeout. West Virginia leads.
The 100th edition of the Backyard Brawl is as good as any they've ever played. Mountaineers have to reach the 11 for a first down. Incomplete pass. The Pitt Panthers have pulled a stunning upset over the West Virginia Mountaineers and denied them a place in a national championship game.
28.5-point underdog, and he might not be a math major. And the best thing about rivalries, they never forget. Rich Rod said after the game, quote, "It was just a nightmare. The whole thing was a nightmare." God, I love college football.
It's like that sometimes, especially in these rivalry games. Just forget the records, forget everything when these two teams meet each other.
And that's Rodney Hammond trying to get dirty. Gain of 1 to bring up 3rd and short. You know, it's cliche a lot to say when it's a rivalry, throw the records out the window. 2007, indicative of that. But you know what you and I loved about this matchup? It's week 0. There's no records, there's no nothing, there's no preconceived notion. Line up and play ball.
Yeah, optimism reigns supreme for both fan bases right now, and deservedly so. West Virginia has rebuilt their football team, gotten a lot more athletic on the defensive side, as you're seeing. Pittsburgh leaning into its strengths, the offensive line, running game.
And now it's quick tempo for Pitt, and they're going to get the first down on the legs of Rodney Hammond and a gain of 8. You saw Slovitz get out of the huddle quickly. They came up. Hammond with the ball moved the chains Pittsburgh.
Look, again, just good old power football, running the football downhill. Rodney Hammond is just one of those guys, averaged 4.9 yards per carry last year, 5 TDs in 21. Look, the combination of him and Abanikanda should yield some very, very positive results for Pittsburgh throughout the duration of this 22 season. And you see them, they're rolling them in there, trying to keep them fresh. Frank Cignetti doing what he does. Run, 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 play action pass, hit him over the top. Here comes the play action now.
Slovis to the sidelines, picked off. They're going to say Wesley McCormick was out of bounds.
He read it perfectly, Matt. He read it perfectly. Wesley McCormick, the JMU transfer. You see him step in front above means, just can't get that 1 foot down. But look, this is something that defensive coordinator Jordan Leslie talked about. The fact that, look, I can do different things with this secondary than I could with previous versions. We're much more athletic. We can play more man-to-man. We have size. We have speed. That's an example of it right there. Wesley McCormick almost coming up with a huge turnover in plus territory.
So now just an incompletion, 2nd and 10. And the give to Bo Flemister, another Notre Dame transfer on this roster, and big Dante Stills there for no gain.
Again, the defensive front.
The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by the offense.
And you see Dante Stills strip Flemister right there at the end of the play. He already knows that the ball is out. Look, that's just a nice job of running down the line of scrimmage, You see his left hand punches the ball out, right hand wraps and secures the tackle.
It's another 3rd and long for Slovis and Pitt. Play clock to 5. Slovis, plenty of time back there. And he's going to pull it down and try to get it himself. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 46. And it was Sean Martin who knocked him out. Pittsburgh's going to have to punt.
But there's an example of the improved athleticism on the West Virginia secondary, being able to match up down the field one-on-one. Slovis has nowhere to go with the football, decides to pull it down and try and run for it. And you see the left foot go out of bounds before he tries to dive for the first down marker. But again, that's a nice job by West Virginia. You see just how improved this football team is, and you also see the athleticism of Keaton Slovis that we talked about earlier.
So Vanderhaar is going to run to his left and get off the punt. And gets a great bounce inside the 5. And I tell you what, if you're giving out an early helmet sticker in this one, the punters are winning the day down by Ryland Gandy after a punt of 53 yards. So we kick off tonight in the Backyard Brawl Labor Day weekend. I swear it was just Memorial Day. Here we are, September 1st. That means Lewis is going to have to change his wardrobe to watch all of this college football. Georgia, Oregon, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Have a Sunday if you like. Florida State, LSU. Utah, look, they're the pick to click out of the Pac-12. Can they go to Napier in the swamp in the debut?
Look at those games, man.
It's insane.
Look at that. How am I going to get my Peloton rides in? How am I going to get my walks in? I don't jog very much, so don't worry about that. That's a great lineup.
No exercise, eat a carb, you'll be good. Ball spotted deep for West Virginia. And there's flags all over the field. After the give to Tony Mathis.
But these teams have done a pretty good job of keeping their emotions contained. But look, you know it's going to spill over at some point. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the snap here.
Yeah, and look, I mean, 4 penalties through a quarter and 3 minutes, and 5 minutes, 6 minutes rather, math. It's been clean.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, offense, number 64, half brings to the goal. The down counts, 2nd down.
Milam getting flagged.
Yeah, Wyatt Milam has had a tough start to this football game. He's had 2 false starts. And now here they're going to call him for the late hit, personal foul. It's been a tough situation for him. The crowd has had something to do with it as far as his false starts are concerned. But Pitt has him backed up here now. In a 2nd and long type of situation, they need to see if they can take advantage of it.
All 3 West Virginia penalties on Milam. JT out of his own end zone. He's going to take a shot deep to his receiver. Dropped. Caden Prather had the look on MJ Devonshire, but it's knocked down incomplete.
But Caden Prather, another one of those tall, big wide receivers that are going to try and win one-on-ones on the outside. But I can tell you this, look, MJ Devonshire, just a shade under 6 foot. He plays it perfectly, plays it aggressively. So he's a local kid right here from Aliquippa here in Pennsylvania. A great athlete, a track star in high school. That's the kind of athletes you're going to need on the outside if you're going to want to deal with West Virginia's wide receivers. Nice job by Devonshire.
An opportunity now for the Pittsburgh defense. Daniels in his end zone. Flag before the play. The offensive line's going to run to protect the quarterback, and another flag's going to come in. And now we've got a little bit of the backyard brawl starting to brew.
You just can't be foolish here. You can't be foolish. You can't start costing your team yardage and giving the offense more cracks at it. I think they're going to get...
Is that Milam again?
I think they're going to get Baldonado as well. In number 87, you see him there on your screen. Contain your emotions. Both sides of the ball, you got to contain your emotions. This is going to be a tightly contested ball game.
You know, we had lamented throughout the first quarter how both teams were going to come into this game and kind of feel the nature of the rivalries. These players were in middle school the last time this was.
There are 2 fouls on the play, and they both will be enforced. Prior to the snap, delay game, offense. Half a distance to the goal. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 87 for taunting. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Lewis, you were all over
That
it.
is 87's first of the game.
Is going to get called here for the hit on Daniels after the win, the taunt.
Yeah, that's what you can't do. Look, we get it. This is an emotional game. We talked about it in the open. I mean, you are running red hot right now as far as trying to be physical, trying to play fast. You're out of breath. You're yelling and screaming. You're trying to get after this quarterback. You just got to be smart. You just can't cost your team yardage like that.
Baldonado heads to the sideline, extends the drive. They had Daniels in West Virginia pinned at their end zone. Now it's at the 16. See if Daniels can take advantage. He's going to take a shot. Bryce Ford Wheaton in and out of his hands. Covered on the play by Woods, and Daniels dropped that right in there.
Look, again, it's about matchups, right? It's about matchups on Sundays in the NFL. It's about matchups on Saturdays and Thursdays, in this case, in college football. Bryce Ford Wheaton is a problem. He is 6'3", 225 pounds. He's got little guy movement. And right now, A.J. Woods, every time they see him one-on-one, they're going after him. You see they replace him now with Rashad Battle on the outside, who has a little bit more size to match up against the size on the outside.
Daniels forced to throw it away. Pressure came in from Deslin Alexander, one of the captains on this team, wearing that famous number 5 jersey.
That's a pretty good number, isn't it, Matt? That looks nice. Look, Deslin Alexander, he reps it well. This is a fantastic, fantastic young man, 2-time captain. Was just an absolute pleasure to talk to in the production meetings. Look, this defensive line is where it all starts for Pitt's defense. They're going to have to get after J.T. Daniels, because I'm telling you what, J.T. has honed in on certain weaknesses on the Pitt defense to see if he can exploit. But you can't exploit anything if you're on your back, and the Pitt defensive line has to step up.
Daniels again going to take a shot at Bryce Ford Wheaton. DB's all over it. No flags. West Virginia has to punt.
I mean, look, Graham Harrell is saying, hey, look, if it's going to work, it's going to work. We're just going to keep going back to it. And A.J. Woods, that's how you play it. That's how you stay in the pocket. You don't turn and look for it. Well, if you can turn and look for the football, if you're in phase, he turns into him. That's called a man turn. Doesn't impede the wide receiver from trying to make a play on the ball. That's textbook right there. Look, if you're A.J. Woods, get over there and get a drink, get some Gatorade, because you're going to have one of those nights where you may have 10, 15 targets based on how Graham Harrell's calling plays already.
And based on how the officials are calling the game, that was a physical play out of A.J. Woods. No flag, straw into punt, Mumfield deep. He's going to fair catch that at the 47-yard line. Tensions are heating up. Boy, this backyard brawl's fun. 7-3 West Virginia.
The great and Thursday night college football is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. It's the little things that make game day worth celebrating.
Sometimes kickers can be the hero in a rivalry game. We've seen it throughout the history of this one, the 105th play into the backyard brawl. First time in 11 years, Pitt has the ball. Here goes Rodney Hammond to the sideline, and Hammond's been the guy for Pittsburgh tonight at a gain of 14 and a first down.
Yeah, you see a little bit of a power scheme with some pullers, some double teams, and getting the ball downhill with a fullback in the backfield. You see right side of the line blocks down. You got a puller coming around, 55 Marcus Minor. And I'll tell you this, Rodney Hammond, he's playing with an attitude tonight. I got a chance to talk to him down on the field along with the Abanikanda, and they knew they were going to play a big role tonight. And Frank Cignetti is calling their names early and often.
Hammond, the leading rusher, 4 carries, 29 yards. Fullback in motion, flag on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 60, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The center, Owen Drexel.
This is a veteran offensive line A lot of starts combined between these 5 that are on the field. Those are the kind of mistakes. We know it's early. We know it's the first game of the year. But those are the kind of mistakes that you just can't have out of your veteran unit that is supposed to be leading the way.
Now an empty backfield for Slovis. 1st and 15 after the penalty. Pressure! Slovis gets it away, and what a move by Bob Means. Ball on the turf. West Virginia says they have it, and they do. Lee Koba comes up with it. Slovis able to get it off right before he was sacked. Means comes up with it, and a great job by the West Virginia defense to force the turnover.
Going on the field is a completed catch, a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down, West Virginia.
Puts a big hit on Keaton Slovis. Bub Means just trying to secure the football and tuck it away and just loses control of it. Right there, you see him make the first defender miss. And Lee Koba, Johnny on the spot. I'll tell you what, they said Lee Koba, again, another transfer that comes into this program, originally had committed to West Virginia and then kind of went to a couple other different places, went to junior college, went to Syracuse, winds up back here at West Virginia, making a big play, giving J.T. Daniels the ball back once again.
Let's see if Graham Harrell takes a shot. No, it's Garrett Green, the 2nd quarterback for West Virginia. More of the running quarterback. The game was going to dictate whether we saw Garrett Green. He's in for one play, out. Back comes J.T.
Yeah, the coaching staff said he's one of the best playmakers on the team. He's just a guy that you want the ball in his hands, and they said they would find a way to keep him involved, although this is J.T. Daniels' show, and there's an example of it. Just keep him engaged, keep the defense always thinking about something new. Smart move by Graham Harrell.
C.J. Donaldson saw him break off the big play earlier, back in the backfield. 2nd and 5, the fake to Donaldson, quick out to 3, Caden Prather, and a great job, ball's out again. Does Pittsburgh get it back?
I think they do.
They do. So a turnover-free game, and then in just about consecutive plays, 2 fumbles by receivers.
Rolling on the field with a catch, a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down,
Pitt. Talented safety Eric Hallett that comes up with it.
You see Marquez Williams, you see him take on the block and get the ball out. That's a fantastic play by the 5'9", 180-pound corner. And then when you're running to the football, that's what you do. You got to scoop and score. You got to run to the football because you just never know when your opportunity is going to come to make a big play. Look, Eric Hallett and Brandon Hill, the 2 safeties for Pitt, are 2 of their best playmakers. Played a ton of snaps in 2021. Came up with big plays over and over again for that ACC championship winning team. And they come up with a big one now, giving Keaton Slovis the ball at the 35, the plus 35.
See how Cignetti calls this ball play. 1st and 10. Hammond still in the backfield. Quick jet sweep to the right side. And that was Means. They give Means the ball right back after the fumble. You know what that shows me? That shows me Cignetti's like, kid, you're going to still be involved in this game. You got to stay with it. Oh, by the way, good for them.
Look, that again, that's what you love about college football. These are young men just having a good time playing in a big-time rivalry. A rivalry they didn't know anything about until they walked out on this field here tonight. And they're letting it all out. And that's a part of it, the emotion of the game, the celebrations for the big plays. You gotta love it.
The old turnover dunk. Play fake. Time. Slovis to the sideline. And that's going to be Mumfield. Conate Mumfield, the route. Lance Dixon on the coverage. Good shot by Slovis.
It's a beautiful pass and a great route by Mumfield at the top of his route, sticking the defender inside, coming back outside. Just watch. Look at that. I mean, that's just right there. That's on rails, man. That's on absolute rails. And Keaton Slovis just delivers a perfect ball off of play action, 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. As a matter of fact, they had an extra offensive lineman in to make West Virginia think they were going to run it and run the play action. Great play call.
Ball now at the 18. Slovis and Pitt trying to score off the turnover. Here goes Rodney Hammond running hard. Hammond's been the ball carrier for the Panthers tonight. Brought down by Aubrey Burks. Gain of 12. now inside the 10. Jordan Jefferson missed the early tackle.
You see the right side of the Pitt offensive line just getting steals turned out, creating a crease for Hammond to get downhill. But this is really what they want their DNA to be. They want to test your will. They want to test your physicality. That's who Frank Cignetti is. And then they want to go ahead and bring your second-level defenders up off of play action and hit you on those intermediate shots. Now they got big personnel in again.
They got an extra offensive lineman shifting. That's Jake Cradle. Big boy football. Hammond up the middle. It's first and goal. Jordan Jefferson brings him down after a gain of 2. And Lewis, offensive coordinators, they'll tell you they're going to play backs, but they're going to ride the hot hand. And right now, that's Rodney Hammond.
There's no question. And look, he's getting some good blocking, no question about that. But he just has nice vision, a nice, steady, methodical running style, low center of gravity, good yardage after contact. And he's making the plays. And look, they've got some really good runners here. Abanikanda, look, Carter's going to run the football a little bit. Hammond, Sebo Flemister. They're stocked at running back, and they're going to use them all. You'll see them all in there at some point tonight.
Second and goal. Slovis the fake to the end zone. Misses his receiver. Overthrows Mumfield. Slovis is going to want that one back.
I think that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, that was a touchdown. Because Mumfield ran a beautiful whip route, came in, came back out. You're going to see it right there.
That's X-ray low on the tip. Good eyes from Lewis, but you're right. It was open for the touchdown.
Yeah, that would have been 6. They had the perfect play call on. Again, Mumfield, the best route runner that they have, but X-ray low played some good football for this team. Has been a good special teams player in his career here at West Virginia. Big play by him.
And big play for the Pitt offense. Neil Brown runs down to the sidelines. He wants a timeout. So third and goal, Pitt forced the turnover.
West Virginia, it's called their first time out of the half. TV timeout.
3:28 left in the second quarter. Pitt threatening, down 7-3. Shakes, I spent 8 hours with L. Duncan in a blip at the national championship. Not an indictment on L, but 8 hours in a blip is a lot.
But man, we were talking in the break. This is a big call for Frank Cignetti right here. You got 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 back. But Mumfield has been running some tremendous routes. He's number 3 in this trips formation at the top of your screen, number 14. Coming in motion.
Ball at the 4, third and goal. Are they going to run it? They do. That's Hammond trying to muscle his way into the end zone, and they rode the offensive line. Pitt back on top. You know you're committed to your game plan when it's third and goal, ball spotted at the 4, Lewis, and you just jam it right up there with Rodney Hammond.
But the right side of the Pitt offensive line has just been dominating. You see, they get a turnout on the end on the line of scrimmage. You see Cradle just going ahead and getting behind Hammond and pushing him across the end zone. But that's just big boy football. That's who they want to be. That's who they are.
6 plays, 35 yards, points off a turnover. Remember, the defense forced the fumble of Caden Prather. Rodney Hammond, Keaton Slovis took advantage, and now Pitt has the lead with 3:23 left here in the second quarter. You know, sometimes, Lewis, you draw up what you believe the game was going to come in based on styles and conversations. Neither of us are surprised by what we're seeing right now stylistically.
No, they're doing exactly what they said they would do and what they thought they would be best at. Pitt thought they would be best at dominating the line of scrimmage, hogging time of possession, running the football, play action pass, running the Mike Shanahan tree type of offensive attack. A lot of motion, big personnel groupings. That's who they've been, and Keaton Slovis has executed perfectly throwing the football. For West Virginia, you knew they were going to try and test the interior of the Pitt defense to keep them honest, but they were going to take their shots on the outside because they had a size advantage with their wide receivers, and Bryce Ford Wheaton has shown you he is going to be someone who you're going to have to deal with all year long. And that's how, look, I think we're going to see that all night long. It's just a matter of who's going to step up and make the plays.
We're going to get a return here. Sam James, ball at the end zone. And he's not even going to get that thing to the 20-yard line. A good job by the Pittsburgh special teams. Sunday night, the inaugural All-State Louisiana kickoff game between Florida State and LSU at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern. Brian Kelly in his debut at LSU. Then Monday night, second of the Chick-fil-A kickoff games, Mercedes-Benz. Here's Clemson. They got Georgia Tech Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Will this be a different year for DJ Uiagalelei and that Clemson offense? What a great weekend of college football we had. So JT and the Mountaineers, 2 timeouts left. Ball just shy of the 20. Quick out of the backfield. Pitt's defense all over it. They knew that was going to Mathis. That was John Morgan, and a loss of 6. That Pitt defense starting to pin those ears back now.
Look, they're deep along the defensive line, and they rotate a lot of players. And here you're going to see John Morgan. You see him get out here on the perimeter and make the play against Mathis. Look, watch these defensive linemen, all these single-digit numbers. Don't think that they're linebackers. They're defensive linemen. Morgan, 6, Cansey, number 8, David Green, number 2. These guys will run and hunt after your ball carriers and your quarterback all night long, and there was a perfect example of it.
So 2nd and 16. Crowd starting to come alive. They give to Mathis off the left side. Initially makes a tackler miss. Rashad Battle catches up after a gain of 2.
But both of these teams have improved speed on the defensive side of the ball, in particular at the second level. You've seen it turn up already with Bengali Kamara. You've seen the athletic ability he has. You see the speed of the defensive lineman. But the offenses are going to have to earn it tonight, Matt. That's just a fact. I mean, because these guys are getting after it.
Pat Narduzzi.
Pitt, it's called their second timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
So Pat Narduzzi and Pitt take their second timeout.
Clock operator. Please set the game clock to 2:25, please. 2:25.
Let David Alvarez get all his traffic in so I can get mine in. Coming up, Twisted Tea halftime report. Reese Davis, David Pollack, Desmond Howard, the game day guys. Kirk Herbstreit going to take a look at Oklahoma State. Wake Forest both in action tonight. A fast start for Tennessee. And perhaps a week 1 upset alert. Of course, College Game Day was here tonight. They did their hour-long show. Now I'm going to take the beautiful viewer behind the curtains. We're all leaving the hotel at the same time. And I'm going to tell every college football fan out there, the coach, Lee Corso, is a rock star. There was a line to get a picture with the great Lee Corso.
Absolutely.
And I tell you what, he's going to talk college football all season, as he should. Coach Corso and Game Day love seeing these guys here. Everybody wanted a picture with Coach, rightfully so. 3rd and 13 now. This place is starting to get loud.
This is a big down for West Virginia. They do not want to give Pitt the ball back with the way their offense is rolling and the fact that they're going to get the ball in the second half as well.
Daniels pressured. Ball's up for grabs. And it's caught by Bryce Ford Wheaton. That is unbelievable. That is going to be a first down West Virginia on what sure is to be an interception and an injured player.
Time out for an injury to a defensive player.
And that's Deslin Alexander down on the field. Looks like he's holding his right wrist. Lewis, what a play this was.
I mean, you just see the pressure. You see Alexander on some kind of wrap stunt coming back inside. And JT Daniels is lucky to get the ball off at all. And there you just see Bryce Ford Wheaton again. That size, that ability to go up and get the football. That's a huge play on the part of Ford Wheaton and a missed opportunity on the part of the secondary of the Pitt Panthers.
So when you saw Alexander come in, let's take another look at the catch here by Bryce Ford Wheaton. I mean, he got 15 on the number. I mean, you look at some of his measurables. This kid's got everything.
Look, he's got a 40-inch vertical at 6'3 plus. But there's a reason why Graham Harrell was so excited about him and really said, look, we expect him to make big plays on the football, and he has to step up for us. And just look at him here. 6'3", 224, 6'4", 211. Sam James, the small guy at 6 foot 182. But the thing about these guys is they have little man movement skills. They don't move like big players. And I'll tell you this, look, Bryce Ford-Wheaton, he didn't even go up and extend for the football and really extend his catch radius on that catch right there. And Eric Hallett, number 31, the safety for the University of Pittsburgh, is going to kick himself for not going up and taking that ball out of the air. He was waiting for it to come down. He could have had an interception and really set his team up.
You know, Graham Harrell said not much wide receiver depth for them this year. 3 of the top 5 pass catchers from last year gone. Is the 2-time captain, Deslin Alexander. You see they're holding that right wrist. And Lewis, it looked as if when he got in on JT, as JT was coming through, Deslin went for the block, and that appears to be the wrist that he hurt.
Yeah, you see him wrapping back inside. Yeah, you don't want to speculate on injuries. You don't really know what happened right there, but he was trying to go ahead with that inside hand, match the hand of the quarterback, and try and see if you can get a strip. I mean, he played it perfectly, executed it perfectly as far as his technique trying to go for the strip. You just hope he's okay, because he is an A+, just great teammate, and they need him out here on the football field.
So 26 starts for Alexander. John Morgan comes in the game. Remarkable first down for West Virginia. Still 2 timeouts. 2:08 pressure. JT gets it off to Bryce Ford-Wheaton, and another big play for 0. JT stood in there, took the hit. Gain of 12. And a first down, West Virginia.
Yeah, you're seeing JT starting to settle in because Pitt is getting after him. That was Sebastian Dennis that hit him right there.
Pressure again. Daniels again escapes. And that pass falls short.
Deslin Alexander's replacement, John Morgan, got off the ball like a rocket. Came around the edge on Wyatt Milam and almost had another big play for the Pitt defensive front. But JT Daniels right now, look, we said in the open that this was going to be on him. It's going to be on his ability to make good decisions. You see right there, John Morgan, perfect pass rush, just lost his footing at the end. And JT Daniels, good awareness to step up, slide out to his left, and prevent the negative play.
And this game turned into an energy drink. Minute 48 here, second quarter. 2nd and 10, handoff to Mathis. Mathis space, Mathis first down. John Morgan missed the tackle. Gain of 18. Here comes the tempo.
Everything switched immediately. Pat Narduzzi calls a timeout thinking they're going to get the ball back. And now West Virginia is on the move.
Mathis corralled, brought for a tackle for loss. And how big is this? It's Morgan who replaced Alexander.
Yeah, you talk about an energy drink. John Morgan right now, I mean, man. He is just all over the field, and you see him out. They're subbing in and out. You see Deion Hayes coming in for him to give him a blow.
West Virginia, it's called their 2nd timeout. 30 seconds in length. Please put 1:27 on the game clock, please. 1:27.
You wonder why in college they recruit defensive linemen the way they do, and they try and draft them in the pros the way they do. It's the hardest thing in football is to rush the passer. It's the physically most taxing thing in the world to do. And these guys on both of these defensive lines for both teams are getting after the quarterbacks.
All right, so Pitt, West Virginia here, minute 27, up 10-7 is Pitt. Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry on the call. First Thursday night game of the season. And Lewis, anytime you have an opportunity to build up a game and a rivalry that's been gone for 11 years, you hope that it lives up to the expectation, and so far it has.
Oh, look, it absolutely has. You're getting a little bit of everything. You're getting some good physical play and good hitting. You're getting some big plays in the passing game. You're getting good special teams play. You're getting some turnovers. Nice, tightly contested game, exactly the way you wanted. And now West Virginia is on the move.
So far, it's defined what makes college football beautiful. 2nd and 15. Johnson motion out of the backfield. JT's going to go to him. He's open on the side and a gain of 5. Devonshire forces him out of bounds. So both teams 1 timeout. Under 2, clock stops, player goes out of bounds. And a big third down now to see if Pitt can force West Virginia into a decision.
But Pitt's defensive line, especially on the right side of the defensive line, John Morgan, now Baldonado is back in at the right defensive end. They've been having some success on Wyatt Milam.
Trips up top, Caden Prather the reception. Prather makes a man miss down the sideline, and a first down West Virginia. Servassier Dennis shoved him out of bounds at a gain of 23. Mountaineers in business.
That size and speed on the edge. Graham Harrell saying, look, I don't have to throw the ball down the field all the time in order to take advantage of my players on the perimeter. I'll just get it to him quick. My quarterback's getting hit. I need to get it out of his hands. Pitt's defensive line is kind of dialed in and really getting after my guy. I'm just going to run a little wide receiver screen and let my guys do the rest. And you miss a tackle out there on the edge, it can be 6 in a hurry with the speed and size West Virginia has.
Plenty of time for Daniels in the offense. Johnson in the backfield. That's where JT goes. He gets out of bounds. Shane Simon with the tackle and a gain of 6.
You see a nice little adjustment here by Graham Harrell again. Trying to get the ball out
Coming
of
off a defensive player. Set the play clock 40 seconds, please. Thank you.
Notre Dame transfer, gonna have to sit out a play. Solomon DeShields will take his place.
Yeah, you kind of like how Graham Harrell, like I was saying, is managing this drive, this situation. He's reading the tea leaves. He sees that his quarterback is getting hit. He's trying to get it on the edge to his playmakers because they've shown you tonight they can make the big plays with the ball in their hands.
Ball at the 10. Johnson stutter steps his way to the right to no avail. And a gain of 1 as the clock reaches 1 minute. 1 timeout left for West Virginia. Deion Hayes brings him down.
But Deion Hayes is going to have to play a big role in this football game now that Desmond Alexander is out. Highly recruited prospect, highly valued prospect coming out of high school. 6'3", 275 pounds. Another local product here in Western Pennsylvania.
12th play of the drive. Just over 30 seconds left in the half. Pitt showing pressure. Daniels to throw. Across the middle. And now they're going to have to take that timeout because they're going to be shot short of the first down. Rashad Battle tackles Bryce Ford Wheaton. And they're going to let the clock run loose. They're not doing anything yet. Let the clock wind down, use it, kick a field goal, go to half.
That seems like the plan. Well, that was a nice drive. Well, they escaped disaster by the big play that Ford Wheaton came up with on 3rd down in the jump ball situation. Well, I think Neil Brown will take that. I'm sure he would have obviously preferred 6, but he'll take that kind of situation.
Let's call the third and final timeout. 30 seconds in length. Game clock operator, please put 4 seconds on the clock. 4 seconds.
All right, so ACC football, what a great night this is for their conference and the Big 12 respectively. We got an ACC football lineup. Boston College taking on Rutgers at noon, followed by Miami. Look, you got Mario Cristobal's debut at the U, taking on Bethune-Cookman. An ACC primetime football, Louisville and Syracuse, 8 p.m. Eastern. ACC Network spoke to the commissioner of the ACC before the game, came up and said hi to us. See if they can find their way back into the playoff picture, the champions of the ACC. What's that dance? What did he just do? Missed that?
I sure did.
It's probably good. We're better off for you missing that. Tell you what, hey.
That's all right, man. People are having fun here.
Good clock management, though, by JT. You said they'd rather 6, but to get them down the field, 12 plays, 74 yards, and a chance to tie this game going into the half.
Look, Pat Narduzzi thought he was going to get the ball in good field position here and maybe go in and tack on another score and then get the ball at the start of the second half. And West Virginia flipped that entire script on him, drove the ball down the field here and had a chance to tie it up.
Rosa Award watch list, all-name team, Casey Legg. On for the field goal attempts, and it is good. And we have a tie ball game at the half of the return of the backyard brawl. 10-10, West Virginia. And Lewis, why wouldn't it be?
That's the way it is, right? I mean, look, obviously, I would say throw records out the window, but none of these teams have a record coming into this game. But when we're talking about a rivalry game, both of these teams are revamped and improved. This is what you would expect.
Pitt's going to receive the second half kick. We've seen some of the emotion. We've seen some of Graham Harrell's new offense. We've seen Keaton Slovis, the transfer, make some plays as we go down to Harry Lyles.
Guys, I'm here with Coach. Coach, what did you like out of your guys in the first half? What'd you not like?
There's a lot of things I didn't like. You know, I don't like we don't high point the ball on a third down. We hit the quarterback and give him a first down in a 2-minute situation. I mean, little things like that. All you got to do is go get the ball. He's not throwing it to you. We haven't been very good on third down defensively. Don't like that at all. We got to make plays on third down.
What's going to be the message in the locker room?
You know, we knew we were going to be in a brawl. This wasn't going to be an easy one. We got a tie game at the half, and we talked about playing 4 quarters. We're going to get 4.
Sounds good. Thanks, Coach.
If you came looking for the backyard brawl, boy, are you getting it. Tied at 10 apiece. Coming up after the break, it's the Twisted Tea halftime report. Take a look at tonight's game flow, brought to you by Progressive.
Look, we told you for West Virginia that Bryce Ford Wheaton was going to play a big role in this game. How's 9 targets for you? 5 receptions, a touchdown. Look, he's on pace to have almost 20 targets in this football game. This right here, that's the play Pat Narduzzi was talking about, that they have to go up and take the ball out of there. And then the Pitt running game, Rodney Hammond, 7 for 47, averaging almost 7 yards per carry. And just look at the right side of this deep offensive line. Just powering, won't be denied, getting the ball in the end zone. But both of these teams are playing true to their DNA and who they are and who they want to be. We'll see more of this in the second half. And if the second half is as exciting as the first half was, Matt, we'll take it.
Total yardage, West Virginia 187, Pitt 154. Izzy Abanikanda got the start, but it's been Rodney Hammond taking advantage of his opportunity. Pitt deferred to start the game, so they will begin with the ball here in the second half. Abanikanda is going to take this to his goal line, make a couple of men miss. Ball is out. Looked as if he spun around. He held on to it. He's going to get the ball at the 25 is where Keaton Slovis and Pitt start. Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry back in with you. Our Thursday night kickoff has been as it was billed to be. Backyard brawl, 105th meeting. We've seen some physicality. We've seen the new quarterbacks make plays. This is everything, Lewis, we thought it would be and more.
Yeah, I thought we set it up perfectly in the open. It's about the physicality of Pittsburgh. The offensive line really trying to establish its dominance, and it's had real good moments. And then for West Virginia, it's going to be about the playmakers on the perimeter. These wide receivers are fantastic to watch. I mean, they are just high risers. And I think we're going to see Graham Harrell take his shots once again in this second half and see if they can produce some explosives and win this football game.
So just shy of the 25-yard line, Abanikanda going to start the half. Play fake, Slovis going to take a shot, has Mudfield. It's incomplete. Wesley McCormick on the coverage. And how about that aggressive ball play? That is Cignetti to start the half.
Look, that is typical of a play caller of Frank Cignetti's DNA. We pounded you with the football in the first half. We put a lot of big personnel on the field. In the second half, let's just see if we can run a 2-man route off a play-action pass, protect it up, and strike you right in the heart in the beginning of the second half. And Mumfield was there. Keaton just missed it.
As we begin the second half, give me a key for this Pittsburgh offense.
Just continue to protect the quarterback and run the football effectively. Take your shots. That's who they are. You know, football's pretty simple sometimes, man. They just need to do what they do best.
Let's add Abanikanda for a gain of 2. On the other side of the ball, Lewis, we had talked about it in the first half. Give this West Virginia defense credit. At least in their first half of football 2022, look much improved in athletic from a year ago.
Defensive coordinator Jordan Leslie, look, you could tell he was kind of trying to hold back at how excited he was at the level of athletes that they have, especially on the second and third levels, at the linebacker level and at the corner positions. And we already seen it tonight. Wesley McCormick almost has an interception. I mean, we've seen all of these guys flying around to the football and making big plays for this team.
So an early third down for Slovis, has to escape the pressure, and he can't. A sack by Jared Bartlett, and again, that pass rush for West Virginia providing problems.
Well, Jared Bartlett is the guy who really can rush with speed, and you see him come around the edge and then work back up in the pocket. You see Dante Stills on a wraparound stunt. You see him get in on it as well. But the reason why you can do that and you can work your moves is because the secondary is doing its work. That's great team defense. That's just how you want to start if you're West Virginia.
And
Go
that
3 and out, give the ball back to our offense.
And that's how the game started for Pitt. Same thing. 3 and out. They got close. Punt is blocked. Special teams coming up big. Scoop inside the 5-yard line. And just like that, Lewis Riddick in all 3 phases, opportunity, defense, special teams. And that is Hershey McLaurin coming up with the play for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, look, you just got to say, this is on the punter. He's just got to get that ball out quicker than that. And that is just a critical error on the part of the punt team for the University of Pittsburgh, deep in their own territory. Now, you didn't take advantage of the fact that you possibly could have had an extra possession at the end of the first half. You get the ball in the second half, you turn it over here when you're trying to punt it out of your own territory. For West Virginia, job well done.
That was Taj Alston. Blocks the punt. McLaurin came up with it. And the Mountaineers are in business. 1st and goal. JT Daniels has the ball inside the 5. The give to C.J. Donaldson, the big freshman trying to muscle his way into the end zone. And how about that for the Mountaineers? First punch at a halftime. Take the lead. Touchdown.
We could tell that the West Virginia coaches were holding something back about C.J. Donaldson. They said, look, you'll see him at running back. I'm like, but he's a tight end. You'll see him at running back. And this is why. That is a big man. 1, 2, 3, 4 Pitt defenders. C.J. Donaldson goes 6'2", 240 pounds. Decorated high school athlete out of Florida. And he's made 2 big-time plays for West Virginia tonight.
Comes from Gulliver Prep in Miami. He was listed as ESPN's 152nd tight end in the country. And right now, he's a #1 running back at West Virginia. Gave the Mountaineers the lead to start the 3rd quarter. We see it all the time, some complimentary football. You had the special teams and the blocked punt. You had a scoop, and then you had a touchdown from the true freshman. Right now, West Virginia, they make a statement, up 17-10, early 3rd quarter. About everything we love about college football, here's one, double numbers. I owe C.J. Donaldson the credit for the block on the punts. I think West Virginia's got 3 number 12s. Don't you love college football?
Well, I'll tell you this, that number 12, that young man on your screen.
He's had a big night.
He's had a very big night, and that is just a timely play.
So 17-10 West Virginia. Let's go down to Harry.
Guys, I spoke with Neil Brown coming out of the locker room. He said he was glad his team played with emotion and didn't get too emotional, which is something that he obviously had emphasized to us earlier in the week. One thing he did not like in that first half was Pitt took advantage of their turnover and they didn't do the same. Obviously, they just came out here in the second half and did that. So I think it's safe to say that they're pretty happy over on that Mountaineer sideline. Also, expect them to take some shots here in the second half.
Harry, thank you. They couldn't have scripted a better start to the second half. They get the field goal to end it, send it to halftime, tie this thing up. You think Pitt gets the extra possession after deferring, and here we go. They get the lead 17-10. Neil's got to be feeling good.
But situational football is something that they have made some plays with on 3rd down. In particular, in the red zone, they've come up big. Special teams coming up big.
Let's see what Slovis and Abanikanda can do if they can come up big for the Pitt offense, and Signetti sends it right up the gut for a gain of 2.
But there's no reason to panic on the part of the Pitt Panthers right now. Stay true to who you are. Run the outside zones. Run the 21 personnel fullback leads with the tailback following them through the hole. Run the powers, run the counters, and then utilize your play action passing game. They have to stay true to who they are. They're down 1 score. A lot of ball game left. This is far from over.
So 2nd and 8. The fake to Abanikanda. Pressure coming. Slovis sets his feet. Takes a shot. Has a man. Dropped. Bub Means had his man beat. Slovis put it on the gloves, and he couldn't come up with it.
That's their DNA. You see, Bub Means, he has Wesley McCormick beat. That should be 6. And that is a nice throw by Keaton Slovis. Bub somehow maybe loses it in the lights a little bit, misjudges how far out he needs to really reach and extend for the football. You see Tyquan Underwood, the wide receiver coach, encouraging him, hey, telling him, look, we're going to need you. We're going to come back to you. But that's a big opportunity miss right there for Pittsburgh.
Bub had the fumble in the first half, a drop there. Slovis over the middle, that's caught. First down, Jaden Bradley. And a good job by Slovis over the middle and a gain of 16.
Frank Cignetti dialing up those high-low crossers, really trying to take advantage of those underneath defenders, running a receiver in front of the underneath defender and then wrapping someone around behind him off a play-action pass. When those second-level linebackers step up to honor the run, the throwing window opens. It's been there all night for them. There's another example of it.
Hit 4 of 8 on third downs tonight. Slovis continues to hit chunk plays with his arm. Give up the middle to Abanikanda. And he just hasn't been able to get it going as Abanikanda. Tonight it's been Rodney Hammond able to find some creases in that defense. Abanikanda 7 rushes, 13 yards.
Yeah, look, he's just had to continue to be patient and continue to pound it up in there in that run game. That's a nice play by Jazir Cox, a transfer from North Dakota State, who plays that nickel position, what they call the spear position for West Virginia, coming down in a force position and making the tackle. Abanikanda, look, he'll get his touches. We'll see if he can break one, but give credit to West Virginia's defense.
Another play fake from Slovis. Another opportunity. Takes a shot downfield. 2 Pitt receivers in the area. Rashad Ajayi comes up with a deflection, and that was clearly miscommunication on behalf of the Pitt wide receivers.
Yeah, you had 5 Jared Wayne and 10 Jalen Barton right on top of each other, and that's just obviously a mistake by one of the 2 wide receivers there. And look, the play-action passing game is working, though. It is working. They are getting receivers open. They have chunk plays there to be made, but they're just not able to connect. So structurally, if you're Frank Cignetti, you go, look, I know I got him right where I want him. We just got to hit the plays.
3rd and 9 for Pitt. Slovis again over the middle and a big hit on Mumfield. And that was Marcus Floyd, who just laid the shoulder pad on Mumfield, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
That's what this game is all about. Marcus Floyd driving downhill on that slant. Good clean hit. Leads with his shoulder, keeps his head out of it, stays on the shoulder pads as far as the hit is concerned. That's just good physical football.
And I'm glad you brought up clean, because in this day and age, when targeting is prevalent in the sport, that was just good football by the West Virginia defense and a clean hit by Floyd.
Well, I think we've all seen just physical football be penalized because referees err on the side of caution, and I get it. I understand why. But football is a physical game. And there was a great example of it.
Vanderhaar, a much quicker punt delivery than the last one that got blocked. And so Reese Smith takes it at the 8-yard.
42-yard attempt. He is good.
Excellent job by both teams, but Pittsburgh, a remarkable comeback. 50 years from now, Ron, they'll talk about this one.
1989, Lewis Riddick, the floor is yours.
They said on the broadcast, 50 years from now, they'll still be talking about that game. Well, what's it been, 32 years?
That's right.
Around that? Man, time flies. But look, the emotion that you saw at the end of that game, the exhilaration on the part of the Pitt Panthers and the team that I was on, was just because of the fact that we were down and we were just getting beat. In this game, what that shows you, it's a 60-minute game. And that's exactly what this is going to be here tonight.
You were down 31-9.
Incredible.
This one's 17-10. Here comes the pressure on Daniels. Ball is out. John Morgan got back there, stripped JT Daniels, and West Virginia fortunate to fall on it. And may I remind you, Morgan is in for the injured Desmond Alexander.
So John Morgan is just absolutely terrorizing West Virginia right now. On the left side of their offensive line is having all kinds of problems trying to make sure that the pass rushers coming off the edge stay off of their quarterback. A prime opportunity right there to maybe get a score or get your offense set up. But the pass rushers come.
All kinds of movement there. Ball spotted on the 1.
False start. Offense. Number 53. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
It's West Virginia's 5th penalty of the game. Lewis, you're right. When you're pinned up in the end zone, and you've got that crowd back there, and the defense is the calling card of this team, it's an opportunity here for Pittsburgh.
But West Virginia has shown that they can get out of these kind of situations because of the playmakers they have on the edge.
A run right up the middle and a good job by Mathis to give West Virginia a little bit of space. Gain of 5. Kamara brings him down.
So that's a nice tackle by Bengali Kamara, making sure that Mathis didn't break his tackle and get off to the 3rd level.
Remember last time, personal foul gave West Virginia the first down. Pressure again, and again, J.T. Daniels stays in the pocket. That's Sam James. What a completion on 3rd and long. It was 3rd and 12, gain of 21.
Look, Pittsburgh is just absolutely assaulting the West Virginia offensive line, but the secondary is just not holding up their end of the bargain. That time, it was Rashad Battle who fell down in his coverage on Sam James and gives up the big play.
It's Mathis on the carry. Simon brings him down, but J.T. Daniels in the pocket tonight. You said it. The defense is getting to him. He's hanging in there at the last minute trying to get that throw off, and he's done it well.
Look, we said in the open, too. Look, it was a different set of circumstances for him as opposed to Keaton Slovis. Slovis was probably going to be protected and have the ability to take some shots with time. J.T. Daniels, it was going to all be on him, and he has delivered. Look, he has stood in there. He has taken some wicked shots, and they have made some big-time plays.
2nd and 10 now for Daniels. Coming on a little slip screen there. Incomplete. It's intended for Prather.
It's a nice job again by Kamara, reading that screen, dropping back into his zone coverage responsibility, getting a good break on the football, making a short tackle. But the increased athleticism at the linebacker position for Pitt with Kamara and Shane Simon is clearly evident in this football game in terms of how much speed and how much power they're running to the football with.
Something to watch now. College football does not play preseason games as we know. Late 3rd, early 4th, fresh legs, fatigue. Who's going to be the first team to show it is Daniels on 3rd and long. It's incomplete. Pittsburgh able to get out of that one, forcing a West Virginia punt.
That was a nice job by the Pitt secondary. You see Marquez Williams right there on your screen. They had great coverage, read the route combination perfectly. The safety Eric Hallett over the top, at the top of your screen, playing the deep safety position. Forced J.T. Daniels to throw the football away.
So Kadate Mumfield deep to receive the punt. Oliver Straw, he's had a busy night. Both punters have. Mumfield the fair catch at the 35-yard line. And it's back and forth. We've got some punches in the backyard brawl. West Virginia leads midway through the 3rd, 17-10. Bell will be providing rewards to students all season long. And right now, Pitt student section has the lead because tonight's attendance, 70,622. That's a Pittsburgh sports record.
Look, they said all along that this game was going to be one of the biggest, if not the very biggest, in the history of this town. Give it a green check mark. Mission accomplished.
It's Rodney Hammond for no gain. Mission accomplished for Lee Koba. And a nice tackle.
Look, Lee Koba has been all over the field. The unquestioned leader of this defense right now at the Mike linebacker position. He's a guy who can make plays in the run game. He can make plays in the pass game. You're going to see him here to stay inside out on the football, track the football, making sure clean tackle, no yards after contact. Jordan Leslie said it's unquestioned. That's our alpha at the 2nd level at the signal caller position. He's going to need to play a big role, and he has done it.
West Virginia showing pressure, and again the handoff. Will fake the handoff over the middle to Jared Wayne. Wayne makes a man miss. Jared Wayne off to the races. races inside the 20, 10, 5 to the 3. What a perfect fake by Keaton Slovis. Aubrey Burks chases him down. 64-yard gain.
We've been saying it all game long that off of the play-action pass, the second-level defenders have been jumping up into the line of scrimmage to try and stop the run game, and that the windows are there. They just have to hit them and then catch it and then run with it. Frank Cignetti has stayed true to who he is philosophically, and that's what the result is. A big, explosive plus 20-yard play that can just blow this game wide open.
Wayne had been quiet, hits the big play there. First and goal, Pittsburgh. Hammond in the backfield, I formation. Hammond up the gut. And they mark him short. One mark short, one mark touchdown.
It looked like he might have been across.
So they're going to give Rodney Hammond the touchdown. That was a muddy goal line there with all the bodies. And at least for now, Pittsburgh an extra point away from tying it.
Yeah, you can just see the surge. Really, West Virginia does a decent job of really kind of meeting the physicality at the line of scrimmage. But Rodney Hammond has run with a lot of authority all night long.
So again, one line judge.
Yeah, that was a bad angle.
Had it
Couldn't really
marked.
see it right there.
The other called it a touchdown. We review all scoring plays.
We really need to take a look at that one. We didn't have a real good look at it, a real good angle.
The ruling on the field was a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Ronnie Ford, our replay official. Let's bring in our rules official, Matt Austin, see if he's got some eyes on it. Matt, it was a twofer by the line judge. One said no, one said yes. What do you see?
Well, it looked like as he got spun around, it looked like his backside did hit the ground before the ball came across the line of scrimmage. But is it definitive? The replay official may have to cobble two views together to actually see, did the ball break the plane of the goal line? All it has to do is get past the very front edge to be a touchdown.
Yeah, you can't really see.
But from there, it looks like he slid in.
It's all on your view. You're right, Lewis. There, it looked as if he's across. Here's another angle at it.
There you see the left elbow was down on the ground. Right there. Right there, you see the elbow down. I don't think the ball's across. I don't think that's going to be a touchdown.
Lewis, did you want to do a running tally of the season of your replay calls? I mean, it's a layup. It's a layup.
But I think this one.
All right.
You know what?
Should we?
I'll take the good ones.
Okay.
How about that? Let's run a tally of the good ones.
We're going to do the Lewis Riddick rankings this year. See if he can bat 1,000 on the replays. I think you and I would agree we'd probably both be stunned if this wasn't overturned. But again, Rodney Hampton, look, he's been the guy tonight. 9 carries, 48 yards. In a running attack, only 69 yards rushing for Pitt. They continue to say this is going to be what we do. Yeah. And it's going to eventually hit.
Yeah, that time they just changed it up a little bit and went over the left side, looked at right side behind Cradle. And Gonzalez, that's where they have really gotten a lot of the chunk yardage in the run game. Let's see if they try and run it to the right side here.
After further review, the ruling on the field is that the runner was short of the goal line at the half-yard line and will be second down in that spot.
So touchdown off the board, second down for Pitt. Lewis Riddick, 1 for 1.
Yeah, Matt, I'll take it. I'll take it right now.
The layup line.
But look, I think you have to continue to lean on this offensive line, especially down here in these short yardage situations. They've been getting great surge. Hammond has been running the ball with great pad level, second effort.
Yeah, my guess is this will be Hammond right up the gut again. Oh, about the fullback. Up and over. Touchdown. Score one for the fullback, Daniel Carter. And now we've got flags on the field, some extracurricular activities. Is Pittsburgh now an extra point from tying it up?
Daniel Carter, again, someone who Frank Signetti really likes. You see the surge at the line of scrimmage on the right side. Ball clearly breaks the plane. I think right there it broke the plane. Well, that's a 240-pound running back now.
He's built
and he's
different.
up there now.
He's built different for a fullback.
Well, they said he's more than just a blocker. This is a guy who could do it all, but they have a stable of running backs, and they want to get him on the field, so he's lining up at fullback. But he could easily run the football from an I formation or be a primary ball carrier.
They're going to sort out the drama there near the goal line after Carter scored. Let's see what they call.
The result of the play was a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 91. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That is number 91's first unsportsmanlike foul.
So it's Sean Martin, unsportsmanlike conduct on him. We talked about earlier, late in the game, mental mistakes. See who can lose their cool and keep their cool.
The field position is something that obviously coaches covet. They don't want to give it away because of stupid mistakes and lapses in judgment. That's the kind of thing that can cost you in a game like this that's tied 17-17. Here with about 6 minutes left in the third quarter, but this is exactly what we expected, man. We expected a tough, hard-fought football game with a lot of big plays, some good physical play in the run game, defensive lines making big plays, wide receivers going up and taking the ball out of the air. Like, it's got everything that you want, including in a week one and a great fan base. I mean, look at
including students body surfing. I think we've checked every college football box you could have tonight.
This is why you love college football.
I mean, he's having fun. So are we. I mean, we've even gone back to the 80s with a fullback. I mean, West Virginia's in the Big 12. They haven't seen a fullback since the Carter administration.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, with Pittsburgh's personnel, man, look, they can come out and really try to bludgeon you with some old school 12 personnel, 13 personnel, 3 tight ends, 13 personnel with extra linemen in the game and run a pro-style offense, or they can spread you out and throw the football all over the yard too, because Keaton Slovis, as you've seen tonight, is a very polished quarterback that I can guarantee you that all the pro scouts that are over here in the box next to ours are checking out very, very specifically tonight.
Squib kick to Sam James, good special teams for Pittsburgh in a Labor Day weekend. Man, are we going to have fun. We're just getting started here in Pittsburgh with the body surfing and everything in between. We've got college football coming out from everywhere. ABC, Georgia, and Oregon, the big one, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Can't wait to see if Luke Fickell can go into Woo-Pig and get Arkansas. Sunday, Brian Kelly makes his debut. Saturday, Billy Napier makes his debut as we take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Verbo. Right now, I'm of the belief that preseason rankings are good for TV conversation, and that's about it. But there they are, top 10.
Well, there's some heavy-duty teams right there, some heavy-duty artillery that's yet to play. But, man, we've got a great game here tonight. Now, let's just see what Pittsburgh can do defensively. Can they get off the field, not give up the big plays, and can JT Daniels continue to execute?
There's all kinds of miscommunication by both sides of the ball there.
It's week one. Some of this is going to happen.
Prior to the play clock expiring, West Virginia called their first time out of the half.
So Pittsburgh was running guys on and off.
30 seconds in length.
West Virginia and the miscommunication there. And you don't want to use those timeouts right now in this stage of the game when it's tied at 17.
No, you don't. But you know what? It's not surprising. This is the first time either one of these teams have seen a different opponent, let alone been in a stadium with 70,000 plus people playing in a rivalry game. Look, there's going to be mistakes. Inevitably, there's going to be mistakes on the part of the teams, on the part of the players and the coaches as far as their substitutions, clear communication with the quarterback, making sure the play clock isn't winding down, offsides, penalties. There's going to be some spikes in emotion with 15-yard personal fouls. It's week one. And these guys are 18, 19, 20 years old.
We've been listing off things all night that we love about college football. Mark that down as a 195 thing I like about it. No preseason.
Yeah,
you throw the ball out there, just play. First and 10, ball at the 16 for Daniels. Quick throw off the pressure, dropped. It's intended for Traylon Davis, the tight end. And that defensive line continues to get to the West Virginia quarterback.
Look, Randy Bates has said, I am about to heat JT Daniels up. Look, man, he can't continue to make these kind of plays against this kind of onslaught of pressure that he's getting. And look, if you're West Virginia's wide receivers, you got to know you're going to have some one-on-ones out there, and the ball's got to be coming out hot, and it's got to be coming out quickly. You better be ready to catch it and run with it, because Pittsburgh is not going to let up on their attack on JT Daniels.
2nd and 10. The give to C.J. Donaldson, who's had a nice game. No gain for Donaldson. We got an injured West Virginia offensive lineman. That's Tomas
Officials timeout for injury to an offensive player.
I'm sorry, Jordan White, the injured player for West Virginia. You know, we don't speculate on injuries on air, but something to watch, especially during the season, cramps.
Yeah, look, it's
late in the game. You're not practicing this long.
Look, it's warm down there on the football field, man. Again, like you said, we don't want to speculate as to what happened to him there, but it's warm down there, and this game is high octane. There is a lot of energy being expended on this field.
So Jordan White got the start at right guard. They moved Doug Nestor over to right tackle. They've had their work cut out for him because JT Dan has been pressured a lot.
Look, Randy Bates said, we're going to try and get after him a little bit because we can't allow him to continue to hit big plays down the field in the passing game against these 6'4+ wide receivers. And there you see Sebastian Dennis coming down the middle, gets a hit on him. John Morgan has been after him all night long. Now that Desmond Alexander isn't in the game, defensive back's not making plays on the football. Look, Randy Bates has said, look, we're just going to see. We know we're going to give up some big plays now and then because that's really our DNA in terms of we are going to commit extra guys to the rush if need be in order to put your quarterback under duress. So we live with it, and we may die with it now and then in terms of the big plays, but we think we're going to make more plays against your quarterback than he's going to hit against our secondary. But we're going to find out here because Randy Bates is definitely heating it up.
Last year, 2nd in the nation in sacks. Most of that defense back for Pittsburgh. 3rd and 9. Jaquay Hubbard in now. On a big play here in the 3rd quarter, tied at 17. Daniel sets his feet over the middle, intended for Bryce Ford Wheaton, incomplete. MJ Devonshire on the coverage. West Virginia's going to have to punt.
That's a nice answer on the part of the Pitt Panthers secondary. MJ Devonshire, they rolled a lot of different corners into this football game. You see him there with the inside stab and then come back on the slant. Maybe gets away with the grab of the jersey right there. But he's playing it physical. The referee's letting them play. And that's the way you're going to have to play up against a guy who has you outweighed maybe by 25 pounds and about 3 inches in Bryce Ford Wheaton.
Another punt for West Virginia. Mumfield's been fair catching him. He does so again at the 38-yard line. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of the road. Games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear or driven? We walked into the stadium. We saw that blimp fly over.
You know what? I didn't even get a chance to see it, and I know that. Look at that shot right there. I've been talking in the production meetings all week about. I just want to see the blimp. I just know when the blimp is here, it's a big time game. I didn't even get to see it. Look at that shot.
Hey, look. I mean, that's football.
It's beautiful.
It looked good. I'm sure Goodyear wasn't happy that I just butchered that read. Either way, it's a fun look at the football field. As time of possession, you're not surprised with the offense Pitt runs. Well in favor of the Panthers. Let's see what they can do here. Tie ball game. Rodney Hammond in the backfield. He's going to get it on 1st down. And again, West Virginia's defensive front has played solid tonight. Lee Koba makes the tackle.
Lee Koba has been all over the football field. You know, his eyes have been in the right spot. He's diagnosing plays quickly. He's not getting fooled too often on play action pass, although they have given up some big plays over the middle. But Lee Koba has really answered the bell in the run game, making sure solid tackles.
They said about Koba, when he came in, he looked around, he said, I know I'm the leader of this team. Took him about 1 day to realize Koba was going to be the guy that was going to be the quarterback of this defense. Here comes the pressure. Slovis out of the backfield. Finds Hammond all by himself. Across the 50. Hammond gets a block. 1 man Hammond to beat. Hammond takes it down to the 10. Gain of 50. And we've talked about Bub Means having a rough game at receiver. He just sprung the key block there for Hammond to get loose.
Look, it's a team game, right? You see Keaton Slovis looking downfield, just checks the ball outside to Hammond on the perimeter. You see Bub Means right there make the block on Jasir Cox. And Rodney Haddon is having a day. Absolutely having a day. Running the ball with authority, running the football well in the open field. He's been one of the true stars for Pittsburgh tonight.
This is a heavyweight fight. This is a brawl of epic proportion by both teams. Defense coming up big. Offense making plays. Hammond off the right side. Hammond staying up. Hammond getting by the offensive line. In for a touchdown. Pitt takes the lead. Hammond's second TD of the night. That was my guys are stronger than your guys, and I'm going to take you a ride for 11 yards.
Well, that's just about will. That's about sheer will. Watch Rodney Hammond coming off the side, makes a nice cut avoiding Dante Stills. And then look at Ryan Jacoby just get on his back and continue to push him and ride him into the end zone. He said, "No, man, we're not going down right here. We're going in for 6. And that's what this game has been like all night. Trading punches, big plays, tough physical running game. Doesn't get any better than that.
Jacoby, the transfer from Ohio State, takes Hammond across the end zone for his second TD of the night.
Pitt knows who they are. They know this offensive line is going to carry them. Pat Narduzzi said they have to lead the way, not only today, but every game. And tonight, they haven't let him down.
Man, has this been good. Look at Signetti Jr., what he's done. I don't know if there's going to be a game in the country minus the military schools where you're going to see under center the more prevalent play call relative to the shotgun.
Yeah, I mean, look at what it does for you as far as the passing game is concerned. It opens up the middle of the field because the play-action passing game really starts to work when you have a credible threat of the run game. Just a credible threat, that's all you need. But when you have a run game like this, where you're absolutely just going nuts as far as your power running game, the linebackers are really going to be put in a bind.
And Lewis, we keep talking about the power running game, but Keaton Slovis, 64 yards, 49 yards in those last 2 completions. That running game is allowing him to take the big shot.
Yeah, look, I mean, look, this offense is designed to make it easy for the quarterback by creating space by virtue of the fact that it's play-action oriented. They could have hit a couple more big plays. They just missed them. They had guys open down the field. And look, a lot of college defenses don't see offenses like this. Teams run a little bit more of a version of what Graham Harrell is running for West Virginia, so they're used to defending that kind of offense. When they see this kind of offense that's power run game oriented, multiple personnel groupings, and then taking play action pass shots, they're not used to it. Why? Because they don't really know where to put their eyes, Matt, especially the second level defenders. They don't know what to look at. They tell the coach, "Hey, coach, they're running the ball down my throat." And then they throw the ball behind them, and they're in a bad, bad spot.
You know what I love about this? Graham Harrell's bringing his unit back out. He's going to take his shots also. So ball at the 25-yard line. Pitt has grabbed the lead, 3:42 in the third quarter. The 105th edition of the Backyard Brawl has been everything and more. That's Mathis on first down. He got 6 yards, but he had to earn it.
Look, these Pitt safeties do not mess around. And I'll tell you what, Brandon Hill and Eric Hallett, they will put it on you. And I believe this was Brandon Hill who came in here. And you're going to see the hit right there. Right at chest level. See what you're hitting, run through the target. Textbook.
2nd and 4. And now West Virginia going to the ground game. Mathis brought down after a gain of 1. Servassier Dennis on the tackle. Got an update now on Deslin Alexander. Let's go down to Harry.
Guys, Deslin Alexander is down here in street clothes. He told me he is done for this game with a shoulder injury, but he is down here. He's active. He's been one of the leaders on this team, as they told us during the week, and he's still doing that now, even though he's not going to be in this contest anymore, guys.
Two-time captain, started playing football his junior year in high school, and now he's going to watch as John Morgan's come up big in his stead. Big third down. Daniels. Bryce Ford Wheaton over the middle. That's a first down, lined up against Rashad Batten. You got a flag on the play. You see Brandon Hill.
This is an interesting one. Brandon Hill came in to kind of finish Bryce Ford Wheaton off.
We're going to hear what David Alvarez calls. Matt Austin, are we headed for our first targeting call of the game?
I hit him in the back, on the shoulder. And
this is going to be a close one. It depends on where the contact occurs. He is a defenseless player, so you cannot hit him in the head neck area or with the crown. The crown is definitely not a factor, but where did the contact take place?
Defense, number 9. The previous play is under review for targeting.
Yeah, that looks like it was a little lower than in the head and neck area. It looks like he caught him on the shoulder at first glance. I mean, his head does whip and have like a whiplash effect.
Let's keep Matt Austin with us. Matt, game 1, week 1, fans tuning in. Let's give everybody a refresher on targeting 2022.
Well, again, he is a defenseless player because he just caught the pass and can't protect himself yet. But this hit is, I agree with Lewis, this hit is low enough where I don't think this should be targeting. So I would like to see this overturned.
He's running right back out there.
Yeah, look, I mean, he catches him on the upper part of the arm, right there, right on the side of the shoulder.
Not leaning with the crown of the helmet.
And look, it looks like a tough hit, and that's exactly what it is, but it looks like it's a clean hit. I mean, that's a close one because of the body language that Bryce Ford Wheaton has, and you see how his helmet goes.
There is no targeting. Number 9,
there we go.
The game. The result of the play was a first down.
And I say that because we chalk one up for football.
Yeah, exactly.
We chalk one up for a good, clean hit. He knew he couldn't go at him with the tip of his helmet.
Yeah, that's smart football. Look, give these guys credit who are playing football in today's day and age. Their strike zones have been limited drastically as far as how they can hit, and they have to be precise. I mean, they have to be snipers as far as tackling is concerned, and there's a perfect example of it. And good, clean hit, but a tough hit.
They're learning.
That's right.
And this has been in for a while, and it seems to be helping the game, albeit we'll probably scream at some point of a targeting call we don't believe is one, but at least, again, if you're a football fan at home, cheers to you. 1st and 10, West Virginia. Tell you what, Graham Harrell's gone to the ground with Mathis a few times on this drive and a gain of 2.
Well, their offensive line has a lot of experience as well. They returned all 5 starters from 2021 this year, too. And they have to show up. They have good size. He says that, you know, they have some good players on this football team, so, you know, led by Zach Frazier at center, and that he wasn't going to shy away from trying to establish some kind of physicality as far as the inside running game was concerned. Look, they're up against a buzzsaw tonight. Look, they've produced some explosive runs. C.J. Donaldson has gone off a few times. Maybe they need to get number 12 back in the game.
Another run from Mathis. Tries to spin out of a tackle. Can't do it. Kamara on the tackle. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and long as we approach the 1-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter.
It's a 3rd down.
Daniels taking a shot. Flag on the play. Intended for Cortez Braham, but Pitt was trying to get a player off the field. He dove at the sidelines, but I'm not sure he got off in time. I don't know if we have a camera of it, but Pitt literally had a
substitution. Defense, 12th player to knock it off the field. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's those critical situational errors that have got to be driving Pat Narduzzi nuts right now.
Watch this, right at the end.
Yeah, you see that's John Morgan trying to get off the field.
I mean, he dives into second base head first. Didn't work.
They got another crack at it.
So now 3rd and 2.
If you're West Virginia, you got to go to your playmakers. You definitely got to see what Bryce Ford Wheaton has here down at the bottom of the screen in terms of one-on-one matchup.
Ford Wheaton, 11 targets on the night. They're going to stay on the ground with Mathis, and that's going to be close. That's going to depend on the spot. Kamara there on the tackle. And they're going to bring the chains and advance it for a first down.
Well, that's a good, tough run by Tony Mathis. If you're Bengali Kamara, you just want to stay up, see what you're hitting, and wrap up a little bit better. Maybe you can keep him from getting to the first down sticks. But give Tony Mathis credit. Spun off the initial contact, gets just enough for the first down. Now they're back in business.
Under a minute in the third quarter.
They got Big Boy back in the game.
I mean, they found something with the running game, and they found something with C.J. Donaldson. This kid is special. 2 flags on the play. It's Brandon Hill that brought him down, gain of 20.
Graham Harrell was thinking the same thing I was thinking. We got to get him back in the game, man. You see him running that inside zone. The little sit block coming across the formation.
Run, personal foul, face mask, defense number 9. 15-yard penalty and an automatic. First down.
So Hill dodged the targeting. 20-yard gain, tack it on, got the face mask.
Look, that is a grown man. He's trying to get on the ground. I know that CJ's only a freshman, but he is a man as far as running this football is concerned. And you see Brandon Hill trying to get off the block of Sam James and tackle this truck coming down in the open field. It happens, but it's a critical error.
How about this? The first touchdown set up by Donaldson, 44-yard run. Then he blocks the punt to set up another touchdown. This kid can play football. Daniels out of the pocket. Nothing doing there for Reese Smith. You love it, true freshman. They don't know what they don't know. They just play ball.
That is the end of the third quarter.
Ooh, yeah.
What do you think? 24-17. We waited 11 years. 105th play. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter of the backyard. 4-17. Start of the fourth quarter as we continue Xfinity kickoff week. I mean, is this good or what?
Look, I mean, look at this atmosphere. What more do you want out of an atmosphere, rivalry game, opening weekend, one-score game? Let's go.
Here comes JT Daniels. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. And what do you know? Bryce Ford Wheaton puts West Virginia an extra point away from tying up the backyard brawl as we start the fourth quarter. Second TD of the night.
Look, the kid, the young man, he is a stud. He's just a flat-out stud, and they know it. He has 12 targets in this game. They're going to run these back shoulder jump ball situations, and they're going to say, our guy is bigger, stronger, better than you. And look, Randy Bates has run a number of different corners out there on him. He's had A.J. Woods on him. Rashad Battle's been on him. M.J. Devonshire's been on him. He's beat them all. He's beat them all, and you better give him some help. Otherwise, that's the kind of guy who will win the game for you.
7 catches, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. 9 plays, 75-yard drive.
One of the touchdown is under further review.
So we're going to have another look at this. I mean, it's week 0. May as well get your reps in.
You see him here. Nice adjust the football, foot down.
All right, so Matt Austin, they're looking at whether or not he had complete control. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes, because he definitely had a foot down and a hip on the ground, so he was in the end zone. It's just, was he bobbling the ball when he touched down?
And your thoughts?
I think it's a catch. I think he did bobble a little bit, but as he was going to the ground, I think that he secured possession, and I think this will stand as a touchdown.
Agreed. That's his. You're talking about a 6'3", 6'4", 220-pound player here. I think it's a catch.
Yeah, Neil Brown, head coach, West Virginia, told us, like, we look good getting off the bus.
Yeah.
And he wasn't getting these receivers. Again, 3 of the top 5 pass catchers from a year ago gone, but they still got 0 back. Sam James is the guy they love. Caden Prather.
Yeah, you saw his speed on that little wide receiver screen earlier in the football game. But look, Graham Harrell said he needed his receivers to be bigger, play bigger, be more productive, be more consistent. And I said to him, well, a lot of that also has to do with better quarterback play. And he said, you're right. You're right. And if they got that.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
If they got better quarterback play, then these wide receivers would look even better. And that's exactly what's happening.
Debut at both J.T. Daniels and Keaton Slovis. J.T. 18 of 29, buck 50, 2 touchdowns. You know what makes rivalries great? There's going to be someone with 14:52 left in this ball game that's going to etch their name in the history of this game. Right now, Bryce Ford Wheaton, 3rd generation in his family to play in the backyard brawl, is making a case with 2 touchdowns. And there you see how important 0 is to this offense.
I mean, look, he has it all. He has the movement skills of a smaller player. He has great adjust. He can run after the catch. There's not very much he can't do. He had 2 career 100-yard receiving games coming into this year. Just 2. A guy that's that talented should have a heck of a lot more than just 2 career 100-yard receiving games. He's knocking on the door of it now. He has 7 receptions for 83 yards, 2 TDs on 12 targets. I don't think we've heard the last of him in this football game. They'll be going to him again.
You just had to feel it. When we were IDing guys throughout our production meetings and prep, you just kind of had a feeling about 0.
Yep.
That he was going to be the guy with J.T. Daniels that perhaps steps up to this moment. We got 1 play to start the 4th quarter. Guess what it did? Tied us up at 24.
Now it's time for Pittsburgh to answer. Let's see what Keaton Slovis got. Frank Cignetti, offensive coordinator. What do you got?
Week 1 featured college football lineup. Saturday, Sunday, ABC and the ESPN app. I love seeing what Bo Nix is going to do, the new starting quarterback at Oregon, Dan Lanning, the new head coach. I mean, look at these games in our lineup. Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Brian Kelly at Florida State, making his debut at LSU. And a big year for Mike Norvell. They got the win week 1. Jordan Travis looked the part. Labor Day weekend, you win. So does the college football fan. Stetson Bennett, he's back for the Georgia Bulldogs. What a story he's been. Walk-on national champion, Sports Illustrated cover boy. So here we go. Pittsburgh's turn, ball to 25. Ryan Rodney Hammond, he's been having a big game. That West Virginia defense, Lee Kova, continue to hit, gain of 3.
Frank Cignetti, offensive coordinator, is not going to change who he is. He'll continue with his staple runs, 2-back runs, what they call 2-back Bob runs, back on the backer, the fullback, and then running back behind him, the inside zones, the powers, the counters, and then they're going to hit the play actions off of it. Here they're going to spread you out a little bit, see if they can get some high-low combinations. So these receivers have made plays all game long.
It's the tight end Bartholomew comes back into the picture. And again, it's Hammond up the middle. I'll tell you what, man, Lewis, they're content. 3-4 yards a carry. That's what they're doing with Hammond. Now 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, exactly. When you have 3rd and short like this, look, you have the whole play sheet at your disposal again. You could run it again or throw it. And they've had great success off of play action throws in short yardage distances like this.
But think about it if you're a Pittsburgh fan on what you saw last year with Whipple.
Yeah, it's a whole different philosophy.
486 yards a game, 41 points. This is a complete different look.
Total philosophical change. Guess that's what Pat Narduzzi wanted.
Now 3rd and 2. 3 runs. Good enough. First down Pittsburgh. Gain of 4.
See there, they have a little bit of an RPO. You see Keaton Slovis reading that out. The receivers at the top of the screen were running slant routes. He's just reading and seeing if anybody's crashing down the line of scrimmage. He's going to, if they're crashing, he's going to pull it and maybe throw it. If they don't crash and he has some space to run, he's going to hand it off. That's something Frank Cignetti said that they would implement into their game plan. He said Keaton was capable of doing it. There's a perfect example.
Virginia showing pressure on Slovis. Play fake, pulls it, quick throw to the sidelines, and he overthrows Jared Wayne. Slovis knows that one got away from him.
Yeah, I think he saw that the line of sight for him wasn't really clean. You would hope that he would try and drill that, but I don't think he thought he could get that in there.
Thoughts on Slovis in his first start?
Look, I can tell you, there's some people here that are watching this young man, watching him play, and I'm talking about people who play their games on Sundays because he is talented, he is poised, the great mechanics in the pocket. They're running a bunch of different things here tonight that you see in Sunday football. I think he's played very well.
It's Hammond again off the right side. West Virginia not fooled. Dante Stills has had a nice game for the Mountaineers. It is apparent that Cignetti and Narduzzi, they've given this game to Hammond. Abanikanda got the start. Hammond's been the big running back, 15 carries, 72 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and now 3rd and 10.
But the big shot plays have been there. They have dialed up some great passing combinations that they just haven't hit on a few times that could have really blown this game open. You can't get too conservative because West Virginia has heated up on offense with their downfield passing attack.
Slovis pressured, being chased, has to throw it away, and West Virginia, a great job. Pressure on the play by Dante Stills. He affected that play early, Lewis.
Quarterback is outside the tackle box. The ball went beyond the line of scrimmage.
And Slovis was never able to recover.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see Stills working on the right tackle, hits the inside move where he just gets the hands off of him and then just chases him down outside the pocket. Look, you don't have to always put the quarterback on the ground. Just affect his timing and his ability to stand in the pocket firm and deliver the football with confidence. That's a great job by Dante Stills.
Vanderhart, a punt, had one blocked tonight. Gonna have a return from Reese Smith. Makes a man miss. Reese Smith, flag on the play. Bring that shy of the 30. It's Gavin Bartholomew on the tackle. We'll see what this flag is. Lewis had a crisp start to this game. At second half, as we wanes on a little bit sloppy with the penalties as this game wears on, now tied in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that comes with fatigue. Again, you just got to keep in mind that this is week 1, as we've been saying all along. You're going to have some of this sloppiness because none of these guys have been out here playing football for this long yet this year. So you cut them a little bit of slack.
After discussion, the contact was legal. There is no foul for blocking the back.
How about that? So after discussion, everything's clean.
Media timeout.
We're tied at 24. This 105th play into the Backyard Brawl set up for a classic. Take a look at tonight's unbeatable performance brought to you by Xfinity.
Look, Bryce Ford Wheaton, we've been talking about him all game long. He has showed up big for this football team time and time again. Anytime they have one-on-ones on the outside, JT Daniels says, "You're up, big boy. Go make a play for us." And he has delivered. Offensive coordinator Graham Harrell said, "I need more out of my wideouts." Well, he's going to be very happy when he watches the film on Bryce Ford Wheaton.
And again, West Virginia having success on the run. It is C.J. Donaldson, the true freshman. What a night for Donaldson. Another big run brought down by Brandon Hill. 40 yards. You want to talk about making an impact in your first Backyard Brawl? Go look at number 12.
Yeah, I think here you see Bengali Kamara. His run fit was not what it needed to be on the play. You saw Servassier Dennis go up to him after the play. You miss a gap against him, he's going to take it the distance.
JT looks downfield. Good coverage by 32. Shane Simon, the linebacker.
That's a heck of a play by Shane Simon. You're running, trying to get back into phase, trying to get in relation to the route. You don't panic. The last minute, you're able to locate the ball and come up with the PBU.
last run for Donaldson put him over the 100-yard mark on the night. 5 rushes, 109 yards, a touchdown, and a blocked punt.
That's doing work, man. That's exactly what you want out of the young freshman.
He's going to pull it from Mathis. JT, good shot. Sam James, the catch. Stays in bounds. Actually, they're going to mark him out shy of the first down. Hallett knocked him out. You see, gain of 9.
You see now, here we are in the 4th quarter, about 11 minutes left, and they're up in the tempo now again. Because, you know, we talked about it, fatigue will start becoming a factor. Both teams have rotated a lot of players in here.
There goes Mathis. Mathis makes a man miss, gets a block. Knocked down at the 1-yard line, and now the West Virginia running game is starting to lead the way for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, it's all about run fit for Pittsburgh. They're just not executing them. There you see missed tackles by the safety coming downhill out of their quarters coverage scheme. You miss tackles on these guys, they'll make you pay.
They've got that tempo up and running. It was intended for Bryce Ford-Wheaton. Have another look at now what Mathis was able to do in the previous play.
I mean, you just see it here. He hands it off. You see Talondier coming downhill. You got to make that tackle. It's one-on-one in the hole. Yeah, the running back has a full head of steam and has a two-way go on you, but you got to eliminate the explosive run by making a clean tackle on the second level. And now these backs are starting to get heated up. Pittsburgh, with their backs against the wall, West Virginia knocking on the door.
We are tied at 24. JT under center. Quarterback snake. They give him the touchdown. West Virginia regains the lead. This backyard brawl continues to be a heavyweight fight. Answer round to round, bell to bell. And now the Mountaineers an extra point away from 31-24.
You're just going to see the surge at the line of scrimmage. JT Daniels just looking for a way to get the tip of the football to break the plane of the goal line.
So Narduzzi telling the official, hey, let's have another look at this. That won't go down as you see JT holding that right shoulder.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, there were bodies in there when he reached that thing across. .10:37 left in the 4th quarter. We're not even close to being done. West Virginia re-grabs the lead.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is brought to you by Popeyes.
How about Pac-Man Jones? A number of legends here tonight. James Conner, Cardinals running back, former Pitt running back. I mean, you go down anywhere on this field, as Dave Wanstead pulled the 2007 upset for the ages. There's just history all over this field. And then there's him.
Just enjoying himself right now. But I think if you go back to the play on the field right now, I think if you're Frank Cignetti and you have to open up this offense. You have to start throwing the football down the field. Your wide receivers have been open. Your play action passing game, you still have the benefit of it because it's just a one-score game with 10 minutes left. So they're going to still have to honor the run. But the throwing lanes have been there. Every possession counts.
So Benacanda fair catches that as we take a look at some of the Saturday night top matchups. Week 1, Oregon and number 3, Georgia, 3:30 Eastern. Chick-fil-A kickoff game, 7:30 Eastern. 5th-ranked Notre Dame takes on number 2 Ohio State in the Saturday night football game presented by Capital One. Both games also available on the ESPN app. College Game Day going to be in Columbus. In fact, they did the College Game Day out here. They did halftime, hopped on the bus. Some of them hopped on the private jet. They're already in Columbus. Watch the 4th quarter. This classic backyard brawl in the making. So now you said it's on Slovis now. Take some shots, get back in this.
Yeah, I think they just need to open it up a little bit.
They do that on 1st down. Slovis time. Shot downfield. A nice catch by Bob Means. Rashad Ajayi on the tackle, gain of 15.
Look, Pitt has their answer as far as the big wide receiver in Bob Means, who's 6'2", 215 pounds. Yeah, he had a drop earlier in the game. He had a fumble in a crucial situation where he looked like he was about to explode for a big play. But you got to keep going to him. He's just too talented. This guy averaged almost 20 yards per reception a year ago. Get him the football.
So another pass for Slovis out of the shotgun. Forced out of the pocket. He's going to go down. Dante Stills brings down Keaton Slovis at a loss of 14, and sometimes, Lewis, the quarterback's got to know when the play's
done. He's just got to get rid of it. But Dante Stills, watch him adjust his attack angle to make sure that he can pull Slovis up and not let him get out on the edge. And that's exactly what Keaton was trying to do. He was like, oh, I can't get to the perimeter. That's a smart play by Dante Stills. That's why he's one of the best players in the Big 12 along the defensive line, one of the best players in college football.
That is the 4th sack by West Virginia tonight. Said you want to give this Pittsburgh defense all the credit. Now wait, can play 2. 2nd and 24. Slovis. And that's incomplete. And Lewis taking it one step further for the West Virginia defense. Secondary isn't allowing any guys to get open for Slovis to get rid of him.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a little bit of both, right? The front 4 is getting some pressure on Keaton. I don't know if he's seeing the field as clearly as he was earlier. The secondary obviously has gotten a little bit better of a feel for the route combinations that are coming after him. Look, it's give and take. It's back and forth. That's what this game has been all night long, and Keaton Slovis is going to have to answer now. He's going to have to settle himself down and answer.
That is Sean Martin, 5th sack of the night for that West Virginia defense.
Yeah, Keaton Slovis right now looks a little rattled. He's not really keeping his eyes down the field you see here. But even if you could just take a play, get the ball out of your hands, and even if you don't pick up the first down, just don't continue to take sacks and move backwards, because West Virginia is then winning the battle of field position and giving themselves a shorter field to work with offensively. That was not a good series. Great series for West Virginia.
Smith wisely fair catches, knowing West Virginia is getting good field position. And you wonder if Graham Harrell is going to take a shot. They got a flag on the play. We've had 12 penalties tonight, 6 by each team. Lewis on the other side of this. These West Virginia fans are starting to feel it.
Here in the kick, personal foul, illegal blindside block. Receiving team number 27. That 50-yard penalty will be ended to the end of the play. First down, timeout.
So that'll back up that Mountaineers offense. But right now, West Virginia up 31-24. Just over 8.5 left in the 4th quarter.
Line's pretty good. How about us? We have 5 sacks tonight, 4 different players, and lately they have been really affecting Keaton Slovis's decision-making and the timing with which he gets the football out. But this game is going to come down to him throwing the football. Dante Stills has been just an absolute monster, doing all the hidden things that make defensive linemen great and the obvious things. They're going to play a big role down the stretch as well.
Last 2 possessions for West Virginia have been touchdowns. That incomplete. The trend of this game, neither team is led by more than 7 points. You'd mentioned Pittsburgh on 3rd down. They need to get off the field.
West Virginia right now, 7 for 13 on 3rd down. Over 50%. That's just not going to cut it from a defensive perspective for Pittsburgh. And if you're West Virginia and you're Graham Harrell, you have to be very happy.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Go back to the run and Mathis, and a good job by Pitt's defense. Devin Danielson there, flag on the play. And now we're starting to see the flags come out like it's week 1. Remember when I said earlier this game was an energy drink? It's like warm milk now.
No, I'll tell you what, look. These young men have been out here playing for a long time right now. Again, week 1. It's still going to come down to a big play here or there. Pitt's going to have to come up with a big play in order to tie this thing back up. And West Virginia, just when you think that things may be stalling for them, their wide receivers come up and make big plays. I think there's more big plays left.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist. Defense, number 14. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, and an automatic first down.
All right, Matt Austin, we know there's an emphasis this year on blocks below the waist, that on Marquez Williams. What did you see on this one?
Well, I'd like to see another replay because I could not tell what the officials were talking about, but they did change the rules on blocking below the waist. And if that was it at the bottom of the screen, it looked like he lost his footing and the guy fell over him. So I'm not crazy about that foul if that's what he called.
So 1st and 10 now for West Virginia. Basically puts that penalty yardage back off the punt. Daniels forced to climb the pocket. Does a nice job finding James over the middle. And it's going to be incomplete.
Well, you said it. JT Daniels had Kalijah Cansey coming off of his blind side. He had beat his man one-on-one with a nice outside speed rush. Climbed the pocket beautifully. Just a little errant on the throw. We're off target with the throw. But look, Pitt's defensive line has been getting after him. They have had him under duress all night long, and they have hit him unmercifully. But he has answered the bell every single time.
Mathis off the left side. And that's a good gain on 2nd down. Looks at a gain of 7. This is the most rushing yards this Pittsburgh defense has given up since 2019 against Boston College. They're up at 187 now. Is this air raid offense in West Virginia?
Yeah, I don't think you can call this offense the air raid in the traditional sense. Graham Harrell will do, as he said, whatever is necessary for him to do to win football games. If that means playing some power football, I'll do that. Throwing it all over the yard, I'll do that. My job is to help them win.
You had talked about getting off the field on 3rd down. That was Donaldson, and he's going to be marked short. Servassier Dennis on the tackle. And so Neil Brown,
it's a big call here,
in his first backyard brawl, under 7 to play, 4th and inches.
Look, if you're Neil Brown and you're Graham Harrell, you got C.J. Donaldson, who has pretty much been unstoppable.
So the biggest play thus far, 4th and inches. They were going to see if Pittsburgh would jump, get the delay of game.
Delay game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So we will get a punt. Neil had me excited.
Hey, with Big Boy in the backfield, man, I may have taken my chances with that. You may have been able to put this game away. You go down and score. But hey, give Pitt credit. Their defense rises up. They're going to get off the field here as long as they execute properly here with this punt return, and then it's up to Keaton Slovis.
6th punt of the night. Big fella you're talking about, C.J. Donaldson's had tonight as Mumfield going to field the punt inside the 5. Mumfield hit hard. Crowd wants a penalty on Bryce Ford Wheaton, who's doing a little bit of everything tonight, including a tackle.
He was right up under the neck. Yeah, that was close.
Again, no flag on it. Bryce Ford Wheaton playing special teams.
He has him under the chin.
Tackle. I want to bring in our rules official, Matt Austin. Why wasn't a flag thrown, Matt?
Well, it's not a foul to clothesline an opponent. The foul comes in when you grab the face mask or the chin strap and turn the head. This looks like his hand was low. His hand might have got up on the face mask or on the chin strap, but I don't think he used it to bring the player down.
All right, so that'll be a no call talked about with Pittsburgh fans, but Matt Austin says, according to the rule, clean tackle by Bryce Ford-Wheaton, who continues to do everything.
It looked like late in the play that his hand came up right there at the end and was underneath the chin, but we're moving on.
Hammond 2 yards on first down. Slovis empty backfield out of the shotgun. Quick throw, caught, and that's a flag. Rodney Hammond on the reception, and Hammond is down.
Yeah, that was helmet to helmet.
It was Wesley
on Wesley McCormick. The first look, that looked like that one may have been a little bit too high.
Hammond yet to get up over there on the sideline. Let's have a look.
Yeah, that's clear right in the side of the head. I see a little bit better from this angle.
Targeting.
Yeah.
Defense, number 11. The previous play is under review for targeting.
So Matt Austin earlier, the no targeting call on Brandon Hill, that seems to be what the textbook rule looks like with McCormick.
Yeah, this one checks all the boxes. There's definitely an indicator. He lowered his head. He hit with the crown of the helmet. He did attack with force. It's definitely going to be targeting.
The concern now is Hammond, who continues to get looked at. He is up on his feet.
That's a brutal hit right there. It's exactly what we're trying to get out of the game.
And so this will remove McCormick from the contest. This will tack on 15 yards. And hopefully Hammond is okay after that hit. 129 total yards for the sophomore tonight, 2 touchdowns.
After further review, the targeting is confirmed. Number 11 is disqualified. The 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
So McCormick disqualified for targeting. Pittsburgh's going to get the first down and 15 yards. And the freshman Mumu bin Wahad is going to come in now at left corner.
And if you're Frank Signetti, you're going right after him. You're trying to see if you can run some kind of double move on him. You see the safety playing real short. Maybe they try and give him help. That's who I would get after.
Ball at the 32. Pressure again on Slovis, able to get the ball off. First time we've had a completion for Gavin Bartholomew, the talented sophomore tight end. A gain of 9. All 3 timeouts for Pitt. Just over 5 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Banacanda in the backfield.
The ruling on the field, the previous play was a completed pass. The previous play is under further review.
Welp. Gonna do catch or no catch here. I think Pat Narduzzi is all of us.
You see Bartholomew here.
All right, Matt Austin, you're getting paid by the rep. What do you think?
I think this should be an incomplete pass. He's got his hand stretched out. I don't think he has control of the ball. The ball definitely hits the ground and moves in his hands. I think this will be overturned to an incomplete pass.
It did look like you saw a flash of brown underneath there. You're right. As he hit the ground, in terms of seeing some movement. It's hard to tell. Is that the ball? I think this gives a little bit of a better look at it.
And it comes down, Lewis, too. Is there enough to overturn?
You know what? It's not clear and obvious to me that the ball moved. I think it moved.
Matt,
but
you talk about enough to overturn it?
After watching it again, I would say the call's probably going to stand for the reason that Lewis said, because you just can't really tell. From my 15 years experience in the league, that ball in the old days would have been an incomplete pass because it hit the ground first. But with replay, you're right, it has to be clear and obvious, and I'm not sure it is.
And I mean, a game of this magnitude, 31-24, in any game, really, the officials want to get it right.
Yeah.
But
look, by definition, I mean, I thought I saw a flash of brown that I thought could have been the football, but then you look at it again, you're not quite sure.
The vernacular here is going to be important, too.
Clear
if
and
call
obvious.
Stands.
Right. Which means it wasn't clear and obvious.
That's right.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a catch stands.
I think I'm 3-0. We're 4-0 tonight.
Whoa.
I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, Matty gets at least like a
oh, of course. Look, Matt has been on it. We've been in lockstep. We've been in lockstep tonight.
0.5 on that one. So the call stands, 2nd and 1. Whole playbook open here for Cignetti. Pitt. Just over 5 to play. It's a Banacanda trying to jam it up in there. And it looks as if he's going to have enough for the first down. Jared Bartlett brings him down. They're going to move the chains for Pitt.
We're kind of getting into that area now where the take-a-shot play comes into play. Now, how is West Virginia going to play it? They're going to play with two deep safeties and try and play everything top down and make sure they don't allow a big play out of here? Or are they going to go single high and leave somebody one-on-one?
Slovis has time, takes a shot. That's Mumpfield downfield, and Mumpfield's going to move the chains inside the 30. Brought down by Marcus Floyd. Gain of 19. Banacanda did a great job picking up the blitz, giving Slovis that extra second to make the read.
Look, Mumpfield has shown tonight that he is a tremendous route runner. He's going to have a fantastic year. He's got everything in his arsenal.
Does it again. Pressure comes. Slovis forced out of the pocket. Has a man open downfield, and it's Mumpfield again. Mumpfield's first backyard brawl comes over from Akron to take Jordan Addison's place, and he's made back-to-back big plays as we clock down to 4 minutes here in the 4th quarter, and tempo out of Pitt.
He played beyond his years as a freshman at Akron last year, leading the team in reception, yardage, and touchdown. He's picking up right where he left off.
Across the middle is Slovis. That's a Banacanda. Makes a man miss. There goes Izzy. Izzy! Touchdown, Pitt! 24 yards. Lewis Riddick. We're about to tie the backyard brawl.
That 31-31 score looks awful familiar. Late in the game, teams battling back and forth. They get the extra point here. It'll be 31-31. But what a nice drive by Keaton Slovis. After looking a little shaky in the previous drive, Banacanda comes in for his guy, Rodney Hammond, who's out of the game currently. This is what the backyard brawl is all about.
That throw puts Slovis over 300 yards on the night. 16 of 24, 308 in his debut, and what a kick here for Ben Sauls. And we're tied. Over a decade.
Run after the catch is key, right? You see a Banacanda just run the halfback option route coming out of the backfield. You see he makes defenders miss. Now watch Marcus Floyd here. You can't stop on the play. What are you doing? I can promise you the coaches on the West Virginia sideline are going to be livid when they get over there and start really trying to correct the mistakes that were made on that play. But for a Banacanda, that's what you're supposed to do. Take the short pass, turn it into a long gain. He's one of the home run hitters on this football team. And Keaton Slovis, there you go.
You talk about Banacanda, starting running back. It's been Rodney Hammond's night. Where can I be used? Banacanda picked up the blitz, gave Slovis time, and then got his opportunity to tie the ball game after that touchdown. 7 plays, 92 yards. Now you wonder if Neil Brown wants that call back on 4th and short.
He could have salted the game away potentially right there. You have a 245-pound freshman running back who hasn't been stopped all night long. Your offensive line is starting to surge. Pitt is getting a little bit tired. And instead, you don't go for it. You don't take the gamble, or really the calculated gamble that probably would have worked out in your favor. And now it's tied up again, and the crowd is back into it. Not that they ever weren't.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Road tested and game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear. More driven. Seen high above one of the great sports towns in America, one of the great downtown sports complexes here in Pittsburgh. We've got 2 new quarterbacks. We've got JT Daniels in from Georgia. We've got Keaton Slovis in from USC. We've got a tie ball game with 3:41 left. Two timeouts for the Mountaineers. Pressure. That's Donaldson. And a big game for Donaldson continues. Chased out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line. Hallett forced him out after a gain of 14.
Again, Bengali Kamara, I have a feeling that he chased that play down inside too far, lost leverage on Donaldson, and Donaldson is going to be the horse that they ride for the rest of this game, and rightfully so. He has been an absolute game wrecker all night long, and for Pittsburgh, you better strap your helmets up and look out for number 12, because he's going to be getting fed a lot.
Daniels going to throw on first down, goes to the sidelines, has a man wide open, it's tipped, it picked off. MJ Devonshire, Scott Bass, he's going to take it to the end zone. Pittsburgh takes the lead. You have got to be kidding me.
MJ Devonshire, one of the best athletes on the team. He's an Aliquippa product, which is right out here in Western Pennsylvania. PIAA track and field titles in the 100 and 200 meters, and you saw it right there. Once he got the football, once he saw daylight, he was shot out of a cannon, an absolute cannon. Johnny on the spot, tips and overthrows. We always say you got to get those in the secondary. When the ball's in the air, it's got to be yours. If the receiver doesn't want it, that's big time.
We've talked about it all night. Bryce Ford Wheaton, what a remarkable game he's had. Wide open, and just can't come up with it.
Run after the catch. Once you catch it, turn into an offensive player and take it to the house, young man. Take it to the house. He's got tremendous speed. That's excellent technique. Be on the spot. Make sure you catch the football. Now go. That's what, again, that's what this game is all about. Back and forth, emotional swings. You make a play, I make a play. Punch, counter punch, punch, counter punch. This is going down to the wire, folks. Down to the wire. Now, just like we said earlier, Keaton Slovis, it's your turn. Well, now, JT Daniels, can you respond? Can you respond and take your team down the field?
We've had 2 touchdowns in 43 seconds. Pittsburgh's gone from 7 down to 7 up. We've waited 3,933 days for the return of the backyard brawl, and it's going to come down to the final 3 minutes. It's going to be a touchback at the 25. Let's go to Scott Van Pelt in studio.
Scott, thanks so much. Coming up on SportsCenter after the game, we got a busy Thursday night on the gridiron, including a first-half performance for the Ages in Stillwater. Bad beat in the end. Plus, how significant is tomorrow's college football playoff meeting? Top Insider with the latest on the possible of expansion for the playoffs. And I got winners, boys. What a game you got going. We'll see you when it's done.
Scott. Thank you. Soak it up. What a sport. What a game. What a moment for JT Daniels.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, he just stopped. He just stood there. Exactly.
So Neil Brown, they're going to spot the ball at the 1-yard line, discussing whether there was no fair catch. Let's bring in Matt Austin.
Well, Matt, what happened here is one receiver signaled fair catch. You see him right there. But the other player catches the ball. Now, I feel any signal is good enough. In this, we want safety, so any signal, waving signal, should be a fair catch. But it's a judgment call.
Do you agree with the call?
No, I would have made it a fair catch signal.
After further review, replay has determined that both 27 and 13 signaled. It will be West Virginia's ball at the 25-yard line.
That's a good call.
That's the right call. You heard Matt Austin talk about it, because on the replay it was clear. Neil Brown upset. Look, this one you give the officials a lot of credit for. That's the call of the game right there if you spot that thing at the 1.
It absolutely is. You did see both of the returners signal for the fair catch. There they both go.
Onward.
Here we go.
West Virginia 2 timeouts, down a touchdown. JT Daniels first down, quick screen, quick throw. Bryce Ford Wheaton right back at it. First gain of 9. Shane Simon on the tackle.
Tackling, tackling, tackling. And if you're West Virginia, can you make somebody miss in the open field and take it the distance?
A penalty there.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 66, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Jaquay Hubbard who's in. Remember, they had an injury on the offensive line early. That's a guy with that a lot of experience on an offensive line that otherwise was very experienced.
Yeah, going up against this defensive line that right now is down Desmond Alexander, but I'll tell you what, they are getting after it. This crowd is losing its mind. It's a tough spot for an offensive lineman.
2nd and 6. They're going to ride the running game, and Mathis going to be brought down after a gain of 1. Going to give him 2 with 2 minutes left in this game. Third and 4. Daniels looks one way, goes back across the middle, and it's caught. And a flag is down. That's Bryce Ford Wheaton on the reception.
They're going to call helmet to helmet on Servassier Dennis. You see Bryce Ford Wheaton here running a little under route. You see Servassier coming. Servassier hits him with his.
And is that on Devonshire, or is that on they looking at Dennis?
I think they're looking at Dennis. You see contact made with the head, although it wasn't made with the crown of the helmet. It's made with the top of the shoulder pad and forearm.
Personal foul, targeting defense, number 7. The previous play is under review for targeting.
Matt Austin, get in here on this one. I think Servassier looked like that was a clean hit. What do you think?
Personally, I don't like it as targeting, but it is a defenseless player, and a forcible hit to the head or neck area could be considered targeting. Now, he goes in with his forearms first, which you could say possibly mitigated the attack. He didn't try to blow him up. Again, this is one where this is where you get the debate of targeting 1 and targeting 2. Should a player be disqualified for this hit?
Yeah, this is one of those tough situations where you see the wide receiver, or he catches the ball, he's trying to secure. You see his head go down at the last minute. He sees Dennis coming in. That's such a tough football player for the defender. I mean, you almost would have to just basically in an instant pull off on the play and or somehow get your body to redirect and go low down around his knees, which is basically impossible when this happens bang, bang like that.
So right now, the bigger concern for West Virginia, Bryce Ford Wheaton had to go into the medical tent. He was trying to wave off the trainer saying, I'm good, but they're going to take a look at him. And both Matt and Lewis are.
After further review, there is no targeting. Third down.
Lewis, I can't remember the last time at this stage of a game we've seen so many things get looked at.
Yeah.
One, if they get upheld, it's a big call.
Right.
But the officials are doing a great job making sure.
They sure are. And look, man, that's what you have to do. The object is to get it right? To have the game played fairly, have the rules applied fairly and equitably. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to follow the letter of the law as it pertains to the rule book. I commend them for doing it.
Ford Wheaton out of the tent. He got the first down. Standing on the sidelines, wants to get back in. He's out for this play. Daniels. Upfield to James, and they're going to throw a flag. Marquez Williams on the coverage.
Pass interference, defense, number 14, 50-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Yeah, that's clear that that's pass interference. You can just see Williams running right here. He's in phase with him. The underthrown football, it's the hardest throw to defend because you're on it right now. You're trying to defend the go ball, the shot down the field, and then you see the wide receiver all of a sudden put on the brakes and you're in reaction mode. So what do you naturally do in order to stop your momentum? You're going to reach and you're going to grab. People say, well, don't grab him. Well, it's not that easy when you're at full tilt trying to defend the deep shot and then you're trying to change direction. That's usually what happens.
Minute 28, 2 timeouts, West Virginia ball in Pitt territory, down 7. And another false start for West Virginia, and again it's Hubbard.
False start, offense, number 66, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
See Bryce Ford Wheaton back in the game. This is what the Pitt defense wants. They said, you know what? Leave it on us.
Look, if they think they have one of the best defensive lines and they do in college football, then this is where you got to close the game. You have the crowd behind you. You have a 1-score lead. You know they're going to throw the football. You got to go.
Daniels out of the pocket. Keeps his eyes downfield. Takes a shot. His tight end broke from coverage. That's Mike O'Loughlin in a big first down, West Virginia. Clock's going to stop to move the chains. 1:17 left and a gain of 32. Still 2 timeouts for West Virginia.
You lose contain on the passer. He's able to buy time getting out on the perimeter. That's when, as a defensive back, you have to plaster.
Sacked. How about pass to Savassier? Dennis gets to JT Daniels in a loss of 10.
Look, 9.5 tackles for a loss a year ago. Led the team in tackles, all ACC. Second team all ACC. You see him there. He just absolutely beats Tony Mathis.
West Virginia not taking a timeout. They've got 2. Daniels over the middle. Caught. Brought down immediately. That's Reese Smith. And again, West Virginia has these timeouts, and they're going to use one here. And we just saw Servassier on the sack. He's injured down on the field.
Officials timeout for an injury on the field to the defense.
So they'll tend to Servassier Dennis. I'm surprised West Virginia, after the sack, why not use a timeout there? So we'll get to that in a minute. We do have to talk about a network switch in terms of college football tomorrow night. The Western Michigan State game at 7 p.m. Eastern, originally scheduled for ESPN. We've moved that over to ESPN2. Serena continues her historic run at the U.S. Open.
Injury to the defense. West Virginia declined the 10-second runoff. The clock will start on the snap.
So some injury news there for Servassier and the protocol within the game. But again, Serena, we're moving her match over to ESPN1. Michigan State will bump you over to ESPN2. So because of the injury, West Virginia not charged the timeout. They still have the 34 seconds to play.
There is no timeout charged to West Virginia. They have 2 remaining.
Pressure! They didn't rule him down. JT Daniels stayed up. John Morgan, a big game in exchange for Alexander, who was hurt early.
West Virginia called their second timeout of the half.
And now West Virginia's going to have to use a timeout.
In length.
Lewis, it looked like Morgan got to over the sack. He stayed up.
John Morgan looked like he was shot out of a cannon. He has not slowed down at all the entire game. You see him running a little TE stunt. Tackle picks for him. He comes looping back inside. Here you see him coming down the A-gaps, right down over the center. Looks like that right shin may have been on the ground. Yep. But look, the Pitt defensive line, these are the moments that they have to live for. These are the moments they have to welcome. Because this is where you have the advantage. You have the crowd in your favor. The offense has been out there. A lot of plays for West Virginia. And you're supposed to be proving to the country that you're the best defensive line or one of the best defensive lines in America in a big rivalry game opening weekend to kind of close it out. If that doesn't get you going, nothing will.
The 105th meeting of the Backyard Brawl after 11 years off. 4th and 16. Separates Pittsburgh from snapping West Virginia's 3-game winning streak in this series.
If you're Pittsburgh, you're thinking here, look, let's play it top down. Know where the sticks are. It's 4th and 16. Let's not play with bad eyes. Let's not let somebody skip behind us. And if you're the Pitt defensive line, rush with lane discipline. Do not let JT Daniels get outside the pocket and buy time for one of those second reaction throws where there things can get distorted in the secondary.
It all comes down to this. Daniels takes a shot. Was that caught? That was Reese Smith.
We got to see that one again.
And the officials are discussing it. They called that a catch.
Yeah, that's on the ground.
This is absolute mayhem here in Pittsburgh.
The ruling on the field was a catch. The previous play is under further review.
That ball's moving.
Matt Austin. It's coming down to this call right here.
His hand under it? No. The ball's moving. That's not a catch.
Ball, I agree with Lewis. That ball's rolling into the end zone. That's going to be incomplete.
We've had 133 ball plays tonight. And that's going to be the final one.
I'll tell you what, JT Daniels tried to fit it in the only spot he could possibly fit it in there. It would have been an absolute amazing catch had he come up with it. But that should be ball game.
Let's have one more look. And when David Alvarez makes this call, we're going to hear from Acrisure Stadium.
Whew. There have been some close ones. The refs have earned their money tonight. The replay system has earned its money tonight. What a heck of a throw, though, by JT Daniels to try and fit that in there. Defender playing underneath. It looks like they're playing a two-man concept. Everyone playing man-to-man underneath. The safety's over the top.
They're going to make extra sure.
Yeah, they got to.
You hate that it comes down to this for the players and for the officials. After all we've seen tonight, here comes the call.
After further review, the receiver lost possession of the ball when it hit the ground. The pass is incomplete. It will be first down Pitt at the previous spot.
College football is all the way back.
I just have goosebumps all over. I mean, the excitement, the pageantry, the emotion. It's just, you can't match it.
Keaton Slovis, Pat Narduzzi, and the Pittsburgh Panthers have won the backyard brawl 38-31.
Timeout, West Virginia. Their third and final timeout of the half.
Lewis,
set the game clock to 20 seconds.
When I look back at this game, there were so many tipping points. I'm going to go back to the 4th and 1 when you've got C.J. Donaldson running better than anybody on the field. Neil Brown ran the offense back out there, and he elected to punt.
I think that's the first thing he's probably going to be asked in the post-game press conference. You had a running back that was running wild, 245 pounds, looking like a modern-day version of Chuck Muncie out there for all you folks who like old-school NFL football. And you punted. You punted it back to Pittsburgh when you maybe could have put the game away.
Averaging over 6 yards a carry, and that's going to do it. 105 times these teams have met, and every single one of them has been a classic. Neil Brown's not having it. He's going after the official. What a game. For our director, Ed Curran, our producer, Sean Jackson, Lewis Riddick, Harry Lyles on the field, I'm Matt Berry. Pittsburgh wins 38-31. So long from Pittsburgh. We hand this ball off after